They said we couldn't. They swore we wouldn't. But every doubt became fuel. And now, we have one purpose: to silence all the critics. They'll never understand the pain we've gone through or the sacrifices we make. They'll never know the weight we've carried or the price we've paid. We've fought through every rep, endured every sprint. Brick by brick, step by step, all of it, building to this moment. Now, the lights are on, and every eye is on us, hoping we stumble. But this is our time, our chance to prove them all wrong.
After a pair of tough losses to two of the top teams in the MIAA, Calvin continues its three-game homestand today with a crucial matchup against the Trine Thunder. Both teams are 4-2, and Trine comes to town sporting a high-powered offense that has put up big numbers in its last three games, including a 59-7 thrashing of Olivet last weekend. The result of these last few games is that today, Calvin and Trine enter the second half of the season, preparing for a pivotal football game in the context of the MIAA Conference. Both teams are jockeying for position in the upper half of the league standings. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another exciting day of NCAA college football on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio. My name is Bob Sack, and I'll have all the play-by-play for you today. Jason Hutton will be along shortly with the color analysis, and we are set to bring you this clash between the Calvin Knights and the Trine Thunder on the Calvin University campus. But first, we'll take a break, and when we return, we chat with Trent Fig on our Planning for Success segment, presented by Skipper & Ostrake Wealth Management. Welcome to Calvin Knights football on the Calvin Sports Network on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio.
The mission statement of our program is building champions for life. And I truly mean that when I say that. To me, there's two types of programs. There's transactional and there's transformational. And we are building a transformational football program here because we want our young men to leave prepared for the rest of their lives. And so when we talk about being champions, we talk about 4 different areas: in the classroom, in the community, on the field, and then champions of our faith. And all 4 pieces are so important to what we're doing.
The coach just puts you in the game. Everything is on the line. Are you ready? Just like a winning team needs a strategy, your finances need a game plan. At Skipper and Osterink, we're your financial coaches. We strategize together, striving to adapt to every financial play. Your victories are our victories. Our goal is to help you be successful. Join the Skipper and Osterink team. Your financial success is our focus.
You don't always see what keeps you comfortable, but you feel it. That's what Bauman & DeGroot brings to homes, businesses, and now Calvin Athletics. Thanks to their expert HVAC services, our facilities stay game-ready year-round. Thank you, Bauman & DeGroot, for keeping us cool under pressure and warm when it counts.
At Calvin, our faith in God and pursuit of excellence drives us. Our new soccer stadium reflects that commitment, offering a premier space for our student athletes to compete on and off the field. Whether you're an athlete, a summer camper, or a spectator, join our community of Knights at Calvin University.
At Garrett's Appliance, it's all about family, service, and excellence, just like Calvin. As a longtime local business, Garrett's knows the value of doing things the right way. For your home and your future. Thank you to Garrett's Appliance for supporting our student athletes and helping West Michigan thrive.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
At Calvin University, innovation powers everything we do, from the classroom to the field. It's how we learn, how we lead, and how we grow together. That's why we're proud to partner with Applied Innovation, a regional company providing practical advice and cutting-edge technology, automation and imaging to drive business forward. Thank you, Applied Innovation, for investing in the future, ours and yours.
Welcome inside the Planning for Success presented by Skipper and Osterink Wealth Management. Bob Sack here with head coach Trent Figg of the Calvin Knights. Week 7 ready to go. And after a 4-0 start, a couple of tough losses. Give us a sense of the psyche of your team and what you've done as the coach and the coaching staff to get this team ready for today.
Yeah, no, these guys are really excited for today. I mean, our kids, obviously 4-0 start was awesome. And now we're sitting here at 4-2. Like you said, we played 2 really good opponents. I think our guys can see that. I think our guys can see that we're closing the gap quickly. And, you know, they believe in the process. They believe in what we're doing as a program. And more than anything, they love each other, right? They've really leaned into that this week of practice. Man, they've had more fun at practice. They've just had a great spirit about them. I'm really excited to see them go compete today.
Those 2 losses were to Alma and Adrian. And in the days leading up to both of those games, you and I talked about the physicality. Frankly, you talk about that all summer, really. Right. It's part of your mantra, the physicality, and you hear that a lot in football. So as you move through these couple of weeks and have had time to reflect and learn from Alma and Adrian, how do you teach that physicality? How do you build it in practice?
Yeah. So really what you have to do is we've really focused on it's one drive at a time. Because you'll see, you know, in some of those games, we put together really good drives. Maybe we start start fast, just don't finish the drive. It's all about stacking drives, and it's all about how we finish. So this week in practice, we had a competition period in every single practice, and really just focused on competing play in and play out, drive in and drive out. Really the focus today is, can we stack drives on top of each other, stack scores, stack stops, and then you start to put together, a more complete game.
So it's consistency.
Consistency, really. For sure.
And think about consistency. I want to talk about one of the guys who seems to have become just one of the consistent stalwarts on that defensive unit, Caden Kolanowski, the safety.
For sure.
16 tackles last week. You never want your safety having 16 tackles in a football game, but nonetheless, he's been really steady back there. Very steady. How critical is that leadership developing out of number 15?
For sure. We talk all the time about how college football is a developmental game. So Caden's been here now. This is his third year here, right? And so you've seen him just develop, and he started every game last year, played for us. So his consistency is huge. Having someone consistent in the back end that's a really important deal.
Alongside him is Reed Vogler, the freshman, who also has been pretty steady really as well.
Good. Yeah.
How critical has it been for a guy like Reed to play alongside in a tandem with Caden?
For sure. So those two work really well together. Reed's an elite communicator. Reed sees the game as well as anybody on our team. He's just a very natural football player. But for him to be beside the experience of Caden has been huge for him.
Let's flip over to the offensive side. Trine, as you think about these last 4 games, starting with today, what's the offensive position group that really, in your mind, has more fuel in the tank, that 3-4 weeks from now when the season winds down, you can say, yeah, these guys launched to another level because they had it in them mid-season?
Yeah, so our wide receivers, and all year long, I felt like those guys have just progressed, and I'm really hopeful that over the next 4 weeks, you're going to see that group explode. Early on, you saw flashes of it, and that group has come a long ways, and there's a lot left in there with those guys.
Today, they match up against a secondary in Trine that's fairly young. As some of the secondaries go that we've bumped into this season, this is one of the younger ones. How do you unleash that passing game today with this wide receiver group against the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, our receiver group's really motivated today. Our quarterbacks are motivated to move the football. And so what we've got to do is we've got to get back to being a little bit more of a balanced attack. And really, I mean, those guys have done a great job of blocking on the perimeter. We're going to reward them for that, right? Those guys have put in the work, but those guys are really good receivers. And so, you're going to see us attack more through the air today.
I'm going to go back to offense and kind of tie it in with a freshman aspect. A young man named Jaden Fless saw a lot of time last week. Big freshman guard, 6'2", 310, somewhere around there, give or take a biscuit. He is one of the freshmen, one of the few freshmen really that have evolved into the starting lineup. What's a guy like Jaden done as you've moved through the year to earn your confidence? And then who are maybe some of the other freshmen we may see now as you get to the point in the season where freshmen are almost no longer freshmen?
Correct. Yeah, and so the word you said earlier, consistency, that's Jaden. He's consistent and he's physical. He has brought a physicality to that group that's been very impressive. He's a guy that early on in camp, it just takes time. And he's a guy that didn't get frustrated. He just kept working every single day. He started last week for us. He'll start again today. And it's just been very consistent for us. So he's a guy that we expect really big things out of as we go forward here. There's another freshman offensive lineman, Andre Johnson, who's right on the cusp of starting to break some of that, get into more of the rotation as well. He's done a great job. Last week you saw Leighton Kolk, the running back, had an unfortunate injury, but he was ready to just take off. So you won't see him for a little while now because he's injured, but he's another guy that we were really excited about.
This is a Trine team that comes into the game today with some pretty good offensive output in the last few weeks. Putting up 38 against Albion and a comeback win, thrilling game. 59 against Trine and 50 and even 35 against Hope. Who's the danger man in this offense that you look at and say we got to put the clamps on him?
So really, when I say the danger man, it's their overall team speed, right? So their receivers, they've got multiple kids that they're going to target in the receiving game. That's what has allowed them to go, right? So they've played 2 different quarterbacks this year, really because of injury, is what it looks like. Not really a 2-quarterback system. But, their quarterbacks, a transfer from Charleston, has done a good job. But their receivers have really led the charge. And it's not just there's multiple. One on each side has been able to get it done.
This would be today the first October win for the Calvin football program.
Yeah.
What would it mean midway through the season in year 2 to grab a conference victory today.
It'd be absolutely huge today. Our guys are ready for it today. They feel that. Last week I'll, probably put too much pressure on our guys, and you could tell we were tight as a staff, as a group, and didn't play our best football. Today we want to go play our best football.
This game last year went right down to the wire. In fact, almost a bit of a controversial call at the end, resulting in a Trine touchdown that propelled them to the win, and yet Calvin was in it right to the last possession. What did you take away from last year as you review the film?
Yeah, so it's all about finish. Like I said, we've got to stack drives. The Knights can't beat the Knights. You hear me say that a lot, right? And so last year they returned a punt for a touchdown after we had a penalty. It never should have happened, right? So we have to eliminate plays like that. We've got to eliminate big plays on defense. And if we do that, then I feel really confident in our guys.
All right, let's get an October W today.
Let's do it.
Calvin, Trine coming up on the Calvin Sports Network. You're listening to 96.1 FM and MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Big East Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Where family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Cheers to good times, great friends, and a place where the game is always on. Only at Big E's.
They said we couldn't. They swore we wouldn't. But every doubt became fuel. And now we have one purpose: to silence all the critics. They'll never understand the pain we've gone through or the sacrifices we make. They'll never know the weight we've carried or the price we've paid. We've fought through every rep, endured every sprint. Brick by brick, step by step, all of it. Building to this moment. Now, the lights are on, and every eye is on us, hoping we stumble. But this is our time, our chance to prove them all wrong.
Last year in Northern Indiana, Trine and Calvin battled right down to the final possession before Trine outlasted the Knights for a 35-30 victory. This year, both teams again feature potent offenses capable of producing an exciting afternoon of scoring fireworks. It's a pivotal midseason collision in the MIAA. A couple of teams, both with 4-2 records, fighting for a position in the upper half of the conference standings. Let's get onto the field for today's national anthem with the Calvin Marching Band. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another exciting day of NCAA college football on the Calvin Sports Network. My name is Bob Sack, and I'll have all the play-by-play for you today. Jason Hutton will be along shortly with our color analysis, and we are set to bring you this clash between the 4-2 Calvin Knights and the 4-2 Trine Thunder here on the Calvin University campus. When we come back, Jason Hutton and I will get you ready for kickoff. Welcome to Calvin Knights football on WXSP TV, 96.1 The Game, and the MichiganSportsRadio.com network.
Whether it's a first savings account or a mortgage down the road, Lake Michigan Credit Union is there every step of the way. As a proud sponsor of Calvin Athletics, LMCU is investing in what matters: student success, strong communities, and a bright future for all. Thank you, LMCU, for helping our student athletes and our neighbors dream big and bank smart.
My life hasn't been easy. I've survived many traumas. I was stuck in the cycle that I couldn't get out of, and I hated how I looked. I hated my body. I started to become more focused in my piano studies. I was practicing maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. It was very intense, and it gave me more confidence. I felt that my mental health was healing, and I am now creating programs that affect so many young pianists all throughout the country.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University.
Yay! Okay.
Welcome to Calvin University. Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton getting you ready for this Week 7 kickoff in the MIAA season as Calvin entertains Trine today in a pivotal battle between two teams, both with 4-2 records. Jason, both teams 4-2, but each team comes in off a little different outcome from last week.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Trine played Olivet. They won handily going away 59-7. Of course, that was last Thursday. A couple extra days to prepare for the Thunder coming off the bye week the week before. And for Calvin, you know, the loss last week at home to Adrian, a game they trailed 35-0. I'll be interested to see if they can carry over some of that momentum from the second half where we thought they played much better against the Bulldogs.
They really did. Well, technically won the second half 17-13 and played much more robust on defense, and the offense had some life as well in that second half. For Calvin, they meet a team today in Trine that is a explosive bunch. Rashawn Sheets, a wide receiver we'll see, along with running back Salim Felder and the other wide receiver, Jermaine Williams, Owen Hebard, and Cortavian Barnett, the RB number 2. It is a potent offense that any one of those guys is capable of hitting a home run from 60, 70 yards out. How does Calvin contain the big play today?
Well, I think they have to be disciplined. They're going to have to tackle well in the perimeter, because what I've seen is Trine's really good at speed in space, getting it out quickly to the receivers, and then they can take the shot downfield as well. So I think discipline's going to be huge for Calvin, and the Knights need to get off to a good start. Remember, last week against Adrian, they got the stop and got the football, but then after that, it kind of all went downhill. They'll need to stack good drives together here, especially early.
Trine had a sort of an unsettled quarterback situation at the beginning of the year. R.J. West, the transfer from Charleston University in West Virginia, competing against Ivan Collins. West seems to have won the job. How has this quarterback scenario played out for the Thunder?
Yeah, it seems like early on, you know, West was the new guy, the transfer from Charleston University. A lot of talent. Collins was the guy who'd been here, knew the system, so early on, maybe Collins had a little bit of an edge, but I think eventually West's talent just won out. He's been really impressive watching them the last couple of weeks. I mean, they scored 35 against Hope in a loss at home, so I think West is a talented playmaker, certainly somebody Calvin's going to have to find a way to contain today. Pretty
fascinating to think about the MIAA and all its quarterback transfers. Alex Thole at Hope, of course, Thomas Vaccaro here doing a great job with Calvin. Noah Boudry, who we saw last week with Adrian, transferring from Mount Union, and now another one coming from D2 in Ryan West. For Calvin, it is a team that looks today, I think, to perhaps unleash the passing game a little bit more. Your assessment of this Calvin passing game over the last 5-6 weeks of the season and how that perhaps changes a little today.
Yeah, I think it was a little off last week against Adrian. A lot of that has to do with the Bulldogs. They're really good, but you want to get into a rhythm if you're Vaccaro with guys like Mitch Merheisen and Jude Klunder and some of these guys. Seth Anderson, will we see more McCoy Baxter today? But I think they need to stretch the field. They got to take shots here, try to make big plays. Even if you're not converting on them, it at least can open up some other things. So I want to see Calvin take some shots.
I think part of that running attack really in the last couple games, or that attempted running attack, is because the first 4 weeks it was so successful. Hunter Hogan with over 600 yards rushing in the first 4 weeks. The ground game was really humming. It's been two tough defensive opponents the last 2 weeks in Alma and Adrian, and that's why the passing game should see a little more activity here today. All right, as we get ready for kickoff, your keys to each team winning this football game this afternoon.
Well, Calvin needs to be balanced, right? I mean, they need to run the football. They have the leading rusher in the MIAA and Hunter Hogan, and they've shown in their 4 wins an ability to run it, but they need to throw it as well. They need to keep the defense off balance, and they need to get off to a good start. Like, can't get down multiple scores here in the first half like they did a week ago. For Trine, you know, they want to get the ball in the perimeter, right? Get it out to their playmakers on the outside, try to make somebody miss, and then hit the big play when it's there. I think that turnovers are going to be huge in this game, right? Like, protect the football, and you win the turnover battle, you have a great chance today.
Mentioned the quick start Calvin needs to have. Trent Fig changed things up a little bit. Had a morning walkthrough today on the actual practice field as opposed to the standard Saturday morning activity. So as you mentioned, he knows it's got to be a quick start to build the confidence in this young team.
He does, and just because, you know, it'll be interesting to see how the team plays with the changes. And maybe it doesn't mean you get off to a 21-0 start or a 17-0 start, but you could be in a 7-3 game, you know, or a 10-7 game and still feel like you're more prepared. So that'll be interesting to follow as this one gets going.
Today's Storm Teammate weather forecast is perfect for the latter part of October. Mostly sunny, high in the low 50s today. Just a great day for football. Our Coister Chiropractic injury report today, brought to you by Coister Chiropractic, lists Jackson Cook, Sam Gallo, Kai Hanog, Paul Hubbard, and Trevor Martins all out of the game and not playing today due to injury. That's today's Calvin Injury Report, brought to you by Coister Chiropractic, with 2 locations in Grand Rapids and Wyoming. Coister Chiropractic Clinic is dedicated to helping you achieve health through natural, safe, and effective chiropractic care. Call or visit Coister Chiropractic today to explore a personalized treatment plan that will be of most benefit to your health. We'll see that Calvin defense first. Jason, it has really been impacted by injuries.
Yeah, especially at the linebacker position, right? No Trevor Martins. Now Kai Hanog is out. We'll see, you know, Schnurstein's in there, right? I mean, when you got number 2, Carson Schnurstein, the leading tackler in the MIAA, even more weight will fall on his shoulders. I did think Cade McCullough played really well last week. He's a tackling machine. We'll see how he does here in a second straight start.
Knights won the toss. They deferred. Logan Knapp has it teed up, and we are underway. A high, short kick taken by Mickey Daring at the 25. Inside the numbers, he'll muscle his way to about the 38, where that'll be 1st and 10 for the Trine Thunder. Garrett's Appliance starting lineup for Trine's offense here in the first quarter has R.J. West, the 6'3", 215-pound junior from Florence, Kentucky, at quarterback. Cartavian Barnett, a 5'6", 180-pound senior from Lawrence, Indiana, at running back. The wide receivers are a good core. Rashawn Street, 5'9", 150-pound senior from Greenfield, Indiana, along with Tristan Burris, a 5'11", 175-pound senior from Aurora, Colorado. Slot receiver is Owen Hebard, 6'1" senior from Metamora, Michigan, and the other dangerous wide receiver is Jermaine Williams, a senior from Cassopolis, Michigan. That's the Garrett's Appliance starting lineup. Top appliance brands at very competitive prices through Garrett's Appliance. Garrett's Appliance with locations in Kentwood and Wyoming. And just as we talk about the injuries, the bug hits already here on the opening kickoff for Calvin. Can't see who that is getting up slow. We'll tell you in a moment.
Well, you know, the injuries are becoming a story. This is what happens when you get 7 weeks into a season, is injuries mount for everybody. But when you talk about Calvin being a second-year program with just a handful of guys that aren't a freshman or a sophomore, like, depth is just, it's not where it will be here in a couple of years. And so now you're getting down to some true freshmen that are playing and maybe just aren't quite at the same level as some of the guys they're going against because they're 2, 3, 4 years older than them.
I think it's Brady Jacobs, and that's of note for Calvin because Jacobs was slated to start at the field side, boundary side corner, and in place of Jair Nolan, but Nolan is out there for the very first play from scrimmage. So Calvin's defense ready to go. Trine's offense scrimmaging from their own 38. R.J. West, the junior quarterback, with Barnett to his side, and he plunges up the middle off right guard, hit by McCullough, the tackling machine, as you called him. on the first play, gain of 2.
Yeah, you know, games are won and lost at the line of scrimmage. We'll see this battle between the Calvin defensive line and the Trine offensive line. Short gain there on first down.
West back to throw. Guns it over the middle. He's got his man at the Calvin 47 in front of Reed Vogler. That's Rashawn Street, the senior wide receiver from Greenfield. Leads them in catches with 29 this year. Had 5 last week for 78 yards against Olivet. 1st and 10 for Trine at the Calvin 44. West will run option right, trying to get to the edge. Can't do it on a good tackle by Gage Jones, knifing through that interior line and tracking him down for a 1-yard loss. Gage Jones, a new insertion into the starting lineup today because of injuries.
Yeah, play that night linebacker spot, a converted safety. You know, really good play by Gage Jones because Trine loves to try to get the ball to the edges. They tried to run sprint option there, and a really good job, first of all, by Caden McCullough stringing it out, and then Gage Jones there to get him at the ankles.
He got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Calvin 44. Barnett set to the right of West. Shotgun snap, West throws, and it is picked off by Alex Minahan along the right sideline at the 35. Up the middle he goes, angles to the left sideline, has running room, and is finally cut down at the 45, but the Knights come up with the game's first turnover. A airmail toss by R.J. West over the intended receiver right into Minahan's hands.
Yeah, it's just a high throw, and a good job by Minahan, who was on the outside receiver, just seeing the football, right? Ball thrown high, he's there to make the play. That's huge for this Calvin team to start with a turnover. Now let's see if the offense can keep it going.
Alex Minahan with his 2nd interception of the season, had his first one here on this field against Concordia, Wisconsin in week 2. Ball was intended for Zach Pillow, and West just threw it too high. And Minahan there to snare it. 1st and 10 from the Trine 44. Thomas Vaccaro with Hunter Hogan in the backfield. He'll wing it out to Seth Anderson on a tunnel screen along the left sideline. Battles for an 8-yard gain down to the 36 before he's stopped there by Cole Basie, the fine inside linebacker, and the leading tackler with 50 coming into the game for Trine.
Yeah, nice job, Jude Klunder and Carter Bilesman on the outside, lead blocking, and that's what I thought we'd see Trine do, is kind of throw it out quick and get behind some guys. Nice job there.
Vaccaro on our RPO, he's got his man Klunder over the middle at the 26, and it is caught, and I believe he's tackled right there at the 27. That's a first down. Emil Drake
I think it's down. It looked like an incomplete pass to me. Boy, they're going to talk about this. Is it a catch and down? Is it a fumble? Or is it an incomplete pass? I thought it was an incomplete pass. Very close.
There's the replay for those of you watching on television.
No, I definitely caught it.
He caught it, and he how about that?
2nd down.
Yeah, live I thought it was an incomplete pass too, but the replay clearly looked like he caught it and was down, but that one won't go Calvin's way.
Should be 3rd down now.
Operator, please reset the clock to 12:55. Thank you.
3rd down and a long 2 for the Knights at the Trine 36. That Calvin offense starting lineup brought to you by Garrett's Appliance, quarterback by Thomas Vaccaro. The transfer from Samford out of Nashville, Tennessee. The running back is Hunter Hogan, the 2nd leading rusher in the MIAA. He's from Ravenna, the sophomore. Wide receiver Seth Anderson, Luke Mishmerheisen, Jude Klunder, and the tight end is Carter Bilesman. That's the Garrett's Appliance starting lineup for the Knights. 3rd down and 2 from the 36. Vaccaro out of the shotgun will roll to his right. He's being chased. Throws it short sideline, complete to Mishmerheisen. Fights for the first down, and I think he got it. It's really close. Nice job by Luke coming back for that pass in front of Corey Washington, the corner. Yeah, well, they gave him the first down.
They moved the pocket that time, and Cole Basie, the linebacker for Trine, did a nice job to disrupt that play. Good job, though, by Vaccaro to stay in there and get that throw to Mishmerheisen. A heck of an effort by Mishmerheisen to move the sticks.
Big 6'7", 225 receiver running nicely after the catch. They'll go deep to Mishmerheisen down the right sideline. He is knocked down while the ball was in the air. It was contact from Jeshua Miller, the freshman corner, and I think that's going to draw a pass interference call on Trine.
Yeah, no question. Miller just tackled Mishmerheisen out there, probably saved a touchdown, but the offensive line protection that time for Vaccaro because no one was open initially, and I like the decision to go. You can tell, right? That was a point of emphasis this week for Calvin. Get the ball downfield. They tried it there, and it's going to work for a penalty.
That pass interference call, which should be announced here momentarily. As you can see on the replay, ball was clearly in the air. And we'll wait for the official.
Pass interference, defense, number 14.
And it is. That pass interference is a Pietro's pass interference. Calvin picks up a favorable penalty there, a 15-yard gain for the Knights, and you pick up 15% off on a Pietro's pizza this weekend at Pietro's. Best pizza in town on Birchcrest near Breton and 28th. The Pietro's pass interference, just tell them the Knights generated a pass interference there and picked up the first down. Ball moves down to the 19, first down and 10. Calvin in the red zone, 12-18 to go here in the scoreless first quarter. Hogan to the left of Vaccaro, shotgun snap, back to throw. Here comes the rush. He steps back, throws over the middle, and it's picked off in the end zone. Now dropped by Emil Drake. Boy, he had it. The ball is intended for Klunder, overthrown, and Drake had it in his hands in the end zone, but could not retain it when he came down.
Well, that's a break for the Knights there. We start this broadcast talking about Calvin needs to take shots down the field, right? Well, there's a balance there because that one probably should have been picked off. When you take shots, you open yourself up to that possibility.
Second down and 10 now from the 19. Vaccaro will wing it out to Klunder on the tunnel screen. He's trapped by Trey Richards behind the line, right at the 20-yard line. Slipped as he made his move, and Richards was right there to knock him down. Loss of a yard.
Yeah, you're just trying to get your guy the ball in the open field. They did that, but the old turf monster got Klunder. Now, boy, 3rd and long here for Calvin.
Now, we thought this passing game would come to life. How about this? No runs yet here in the first quarter. It's been all through the air and off the arm of Thomas Vaccaro. 3rd down and 12. He gets the Thunder to jump, so he's got a free play. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Calvin Knights! Seth Anderson at the goal line. Leaps for the catch off the arm of Vaccaro, and Calvin strikes first after the interception. They lead it 6-0.
Heck of a play by Thomas Vaccaro. Great ball that time to Seth Anderson. Free play, and he knew it, right? Trine jumped offside. You had some guys stop because they thought the penalty would be called, but you get a chance to run the play.
Thomas Vaccaro's been so good at that this year, Jason. Drawing the defense offside, and B, going for the home run ball after the penalty. For Seth Anderson, that is his 2nd touchdown of the year, his 14th catch. Had a couple of touchdowns last year in his freshman season, so he has equaled that here in week 7. On to attempt the extra point is Logan Knapp out of the Tate Dome hold. The operation is fluid, and the kick is good. Calvin 7, Trine nothing. 11:39 to go in the first quarter. You're watching Calvin Knights football on the Calvin Sports Network, WXSP, and listening on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio.
At Garrett's Appliance, it's all about family, service, and excellence, just like Calvin. As a longtime local business, Garrett's knows the value of doing things the right way. For your home and your future. Thank you to Garrett's Appliance for supporting our student athletes and helping West Michigan thrive.
Today's featured Calvin football student athlete planning for success is senior Brady Jacobs. The defensive back, Brady, is from Grant, Michigan, and is in his 3rd year with the Calvin football program. Brady is a Calvin's Dean List student majoring in education with an emphasis in physical education and health. He's a Calvin's Dean's List student for the 3rd consecutive semester and a member of the MIAA Academic Honor Roll. That's Planning for Success, presented by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, providing the financial clarity, solutions, and service that allow you to focus on what you care about most. Calvin leads us 7-0. High end over end kick taken again by Daring. Check that. Colson Conrad received that. He's a Byron Center kid. Got to get that one right. Backup linebackers returned 2 kickoffs here in this first quarter already.
It's clear Calvin wants him returning the kicks because they've kicked it to him twice here to start this game. But this is about as good a start as you can ask if you're Trent Figg and Calvin. Maybe that 10:30 walkthrough was ideal because you get a pick, you go down and score, and it's not what we saw last week. It's a much better start for the Knights.
Alex Minahan with that big interception on Trine's first drive, and the Knights cash in with a touchdown pass coming from Vaccaro to Anderson of 21 yards to take a 7-0 lead. R.J. West back to work at his own 35, 1st and 10 for Trine. Shotgun snap, back to throw. Here comes the rush. C.J. Sheets giving chase, and West will just heave it out of bounds. Incomplete. Good to have C.J. Sheets back in the lineup. He missed last week's game with an injury, and defensive end from Florida, starting again here today.
Another good play by Gage Jones that time, because West wanted to get it to Owen Hebard, his slot receiver, on the in route, but Gage Jones had inside leverage, and there was nowhere for West to go with the football. He had to throw it away.
Also back in the lineup on the right defensive end is Caden Bolduck. He missed last week's game too. So 2 key edge players for that Calvin defense return today. 2nd and 10. The give is to Barnett. He's trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Wrapped up at the 32. Caden Bolduck with the tackle there, and he's been so good this year. Bolduck has 31 tackles, now 8 tackle for losses here in this week 7.
Yeah, Calvin set the edge over there real nice, and nowhere to go in the outside zone for Trine. And boy, this is what you want if you're Calvin. 3rd and 13. Chance for the Knights to pin their ears a little bit here and come after West.
Tristan Burris wide to the right. Hebard slot right. The speedster Street and Williams on the short side, the boundary side. 3rd down and 13 for R.J. West. Calvin shows blitz. Here they come. They bring 6. West has time. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. Gets a good block. And he is off to the races down the left sideline. Finally pushed out of bounds by Reed Vogler at the 37. Great block at about midfield there by Tristan Burris that really sprung him loose on that quarterback run.
Yeah, you're blitzing, you're running cover 0. All the defenders have their back to the quarterback, and West is an athlete, man. He made a big-time play there.
Not necessarily a running quarterback, but he does have escapability. And he showed it there. 1st and 10 from the Calvin 36. West will throw wide open as Burris along the right sideline spins out of a Minahan tackle, and then finally is wrapped up at the 17 by Gage Jones and Caden Kolanowski. That's a big gain of 18 yards to Tristan Burris.
Yeah, soft coverage on the outside there by Calvin, but I think that's the game plan here. You know, first possession, it worked. You staying with it. Nice pitch and catch that time by R.J. West.
From the Calvin 17, Thunder on the move here, 1st and 10. West will fake the handoff. Now he'll keep it around the left side. Slips down at the 14. McCullough there to fall on him, but not before he still picks up 4 yards. R.J. West showing his legs here in the early going.
Yeah, I don't think we expected as much quarterback run as we've gotten from Trine here early, but West doing a nice job, showing his dual threat ability.
Junior transfer out of Florence, Kentucky, outside of Cincinnati. Went to University of Charleston in West Virginia. 2nd down and 6. West back to throw. They'll run the tunnel screen. He guns it to Hebard in the right flat. It was too low for him. Pressure came from Bolduck. Again, a flag comes in late.
That can't be good for Calvin. That's the old, everybody was free at the line. You know something's up, right? That was a screen all the way, and just too much pressure. West threw it low.
It's either going to be a holding call or a personal foul on Bolduck.
I'm guessing it's roughing the passer.
Bolduck already making his presence known. Sorely missed last week. A sophomore from Reed Spuffer. Here's the call.
Personal foul. Defense. Unnecessary roughness. Half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
So instead of being 3rd and 7, that mistake cost the Knights, and it'll be 1st down and goal to go for Trine at the 7-yard line.
Defense backed up here, needs somebody to make a play. We have not seen Trine run it outside of the pass play where West tucked it and ran. Let's see if they can throw it here without as much field to work with.
Heavy set to the right side. They'll run the Wildcat, and it's Rashawn Streets carrying the football up the middle. Picked up maybe 3 down to the 4.
Yeah, nice design there, right? You just fake it, going to the wide side, and then Streets keeps it over right guard. Got a nice solid gain there. See if they stay in the Wildcat here. My guess is it looks like they won't. They'll bring West back in.
West back in from the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Barnett offset to his right. They'll fake to Barnett. West to throw. Slings it out complete at the 1 and dropped. Or is it a fumble? They'll call it incomplete. The tight end, Keegan Hampton, had it. It was hit immediately.
Reed Vogler.
By Vogler, coming up nicely out of that secondary. 3rd and goal at the 4.
Yeah, they're just trying to sneak the tight end out of there. They get everybody going to the other side of the field, and boy, Reed Vogler was all over that. Big time play here, 3rd and goal. Calvin can find a way to hold Trine to a field goal attempt. That'd be a huge win here.
And Hampton's caught just 4 balls this year, so a good call by Troy Epps to sneak him out from that tight end spot. 3rd down and goal at the 4. R.J. West barks out the signals. Back to pass, has time, throws goal line, incomplete, knocked away in the end zone by Caden Kolanowski, intended for Owen Hebert, and it's 4th and 4 at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, this Calvin secondary is playing well here early, Bob. A little bit of a rub concept. I thought they were going to try to throw the out to the underneath guy, but instead they go into the end zone and Kolanowski right on top of it.
Talked about Kolanowski, the pregame show with Trent Figg, and it's been so steady and so consistent at that safety spot. The sophomore from Goodrich.
No field goal attempt.
Trine's going to go for it here on 4th and 4. 2 receivers out to the left, Burris out to the right. Barnett, the running back, off West's right hip. Knights show 5-man rush, flag, and that could be delay of game.
Oh, they're going to have to kick a field goal now because they're going to move back to the 9. I don't know.
Troy Adams was yelling for that timeout. Did he get it?
Timeout, Trine.
He got it.
Their first timeout of the half.
That's tough because both the receivers to the top of the screen, Bob, moved. Like, I think that should have been a procedure penalty, not a delay a game, but Trine gets the timeout.
We'll keep it right here and tell you that today we'll be watching for our defensive player of the game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence. Today's defensive player of the game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence, transforms properties across Michigan by crafting fences that provide sanctuary, security, and self-expression. Committed to care and craftsmanship, Straight Line Fence has earned a reputation as Michigan's most trusted fence installer. For 150 years, Calvin University has stood as a Christ-centered learning community, preparing students to think deeply, act justly, and live wholeheartedly. As Calvin celebrates its sesquicentennial this year, thank God for his faithfulness and look forward to the next 150 years shaping leaders for his world. A lot of celebrations going on throughout the year across the country at Calvin alumni chapters, and check out the website for the one near you to learn all about the exciting things happening at Calvin here in this 150th anniversary. 8:40 to go. If you just joined us, Calvin leads 7-0. They used an Alex Minahan interception on Trine's first drive to march 46 yards for a touchdown. It was a 21-yard TD strike from Thomas Vaccaro to Seth Anderson. That gave the Knights the 7-0 lead with 8:40 to go. Here now, Trine has marched down the field from their own 39, and they're going to go for it on 4th down and 4.
Yeah, big chance here for Calvin. Boy, if they can hold Trine, this is a roll of the dice. I'm really surprised the Thunder aren't kicking a field goal here.
Knights show man coverage. Show pressure with 6 on the line. Let's see if West calls his own number here. Back to throw. Here comes the rush. He'll scramble out to his left. Racing to the pylon. He's not going to get there. He's pushed out of bounds at the 3. C.J. Sheets chased him out of bounds, and the Knights have held at a goal line stand here in the first quarter.
Yeah, really nice job by Lamar Bell, the defensive coordinator for Calvin. You know, they showed Schneerstein and they showed McCullough blitz, and I thought they were going to fall back and play coverage, and they didn't. They came, and West trying to scramble, just too much pursuit that time, and a really nice job by C.J. Sheets. And boy, what a big stop for Calvin.
To give Marcus Brucker, along with McCullough, credit for the initial pursuit on West, and that allowed Sheets time to move from his backside position and chase him out of bounds. So 1st and 10 for Calvin at their own 3-yard line. Vaccaro out of the shotgun, gives to Nick Earls in the game at running back. He works his way out to the 6-yard line, across the 5 to the 6.
First called run of the game for Calvin. Kind of get it right backed up to your own 2-yard line.
Hunter Hogan split in the slot now to the left. Hayden Slager's the running back. Check that. That was Slagers who had that first carry. It wasn't Nick Earls.
I like this. I like Hogan in the slot. I think you can do a lot of things with him there. If Slagers can get something done here running the football, it's a good formation.
2nd and 6 for Vaccaro. Quick toss, right side to Mishmar. It up top. He's got it. But he was out of bounds, juggled it right at the 25 and couldn't grab possession, Jason, before he landed outside the boundary. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, really close. Tough call. Good job by the officials. But I like it. Right? Let's throw it up to Luke. Let him go try to get it.
Slagers checks out. Now Jude Klunder back in the lineup, and that moves Hunter Hogan back to the running back spot on this 3rd down and 6 from their own 5.
Yeah, obvious passing situation here. So you put Hogan, he's essentially just another receiver out there. More tough, get him on a linebacker or something.
Three-man front. Time for Vaccaro to throw. He's got his man Klunder underneath, outside the numbers at the 10-yard line. Scoots his way over the 15 for a first down at the 18 before he's finally dragged down by Emil Drake. Beautiful work by Thomas Vaccaro.
Well, and they didn't send Hunter Hogan out into the route. He stayed in to block, but he didn't have to block anybody because the offensive line's doing such a good job. Trine played coverage. Vaccaro had time in the pocket and found Jude Klunder.
Big first down. Trips to the left now on 1st and 10 from the 17. The give is to Hogan.
It's Hayden Slagers out of the Wildcat. I like this. This is what we didn't see from Calvin last week, and they're throwing the kitchen sink out there, right? Let's do some stuff we haven't done yet. I love to see it.
Hayden Slagers, who had 41 yards on 8 carries last week. Of course, he's a converted quarterback in his first year at running back. He picked up 4 on that last play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from the 20. They fake to him. Vaccaro throws over the middle, intended for Hogan. Little contact. Incomplete, though. Good coverage on the play by Emil Drake. It's a young secondary, Jay, in that Trine defense. They start a freshman, a couple of sophomores, and a junior, but it's a unit that's getting better and better as the season wears on.
Trine is very old on offense and very young on defense. Good play that time. I thought he might have been a little early, but that one goes the way of the Thunder.
3rd and 6. Strength of that Trine defense is really those linebackers. Cole Basie, Ridge Howard in the middle. On the edge. Back to throws Vaccaro on 3rd down and 6. He'll roll to his left, being chased, flips it over, and it's picked off at the 14 by Jeshua Miller. That's a rare, ill-advised decision by Thomas Vaccaro.
Yeah.
He should have just thrown that out of bounds, backpedaling. He knows it, too. He's only thrown 2 picks this year. Miller just flowed with that secondary as Vaccaro was flushed out to the left, and the ball was lofted right into Miller's hands.
Yeah, there just wasn't anything there. And I know it's 3rd and 6, and you desperately want to stay on the field. But, yeah, you got to throw that away, and you got to live to see another down. Punt the football. That pass should not have been made. Now the Calvin defense just made a stop inside the 5-yard line. They're going to be tasked with trying to get another big stop here as Trine's going to start on the plus 34.
The other thing there, you can try the punt pass, which is essentially just heave it deep, and if it's picked off at midfield, so be it. That's about where the punt would have landed anyway. At any rate, it's 1st and 10 for Trine. They're again in plus territory at the Calvin 34. Hampton slot H-back to the left. Salim Felder now in the game. He's the running back, number 2 RB, and a good one for Trine. He's got the handoff, busts over the right side, tripped up by Bolduc, and then finished off by Vogler. Salim Felder comes into this game with 320 yards. That's below Barnett's 364. Those two are averaging, Jason, 7 yards a crack, so they are big-time explosive running backs.
Well, Felder's the guy who had a big game against Calvin last year. We didn't see Barnett, and Barnett's kind of been their guy this year. So when you got 2 guys that can carry it, that's certainly an advantage.
Over 100 yards rushing for Felder against Calvin last year. He's got it again on 2nd and 6. Powers his way over the left side. Luke Bushhouse threw him down after a 3-yard gain, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Thunder. And suffice to say, after what they did last possession, it's 4-down territory.
No question about that. Nice job by Bushhouse there. But Trine sets themselves up in a 3rd and 2 here. They are running the ball inside. I thought they'd be trying to get it to the edges a little more on 3rd down here. See if they stay between the tackles in their zone blocking scheme.
7-0 Calvin, inside of 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. KJ Harp now in at middle guard for the Knights.
I learned that meant nose tackle last week.
Whistle and a timeout taken by Trine before this big 3rd down. We'll step aside as well. Calvin 7, Trine nothing. 5:34 to go in the first on the Calvin Sports Network.
You don't always see what keeps you comfortable, but you feel it. That's what Bauman & DeGroot brings to homes, businesses, and now Calvin Athletics. Thanks to their expert HVAC services, our facilities stay game ready year-round. Thank you, Bauman & DeGroot, for keeping us cool under pressure and warm when it counts.
During today's game, we are watching for the Visser brothers' teamwork of the game, a key play where Calvin has planned, managed, and executed correctly. That's the Visser Brothers Teamwork of the Game, presented by Visser Brothers General Contractors, where a team of dedicated project professionals knows how to maintain your construction process on schedule and on budget. Calvin needs a big team defensive effort here. 3rd down and 3 for Trine at the Calvin 26. Salim Felder in at that running back spot off West's right hip. 2 receivers out to the left. Felder will take the handoff. Big hole right up the gut. He's going to sprint to the end zone for a touchdown. Salim Felder with a 26-yard TD scamper. Great blocking off that left side. Ronald Simpson, the 335-pound senior. Jaden Boykin at 260. Along with center Dalton Robinson, opened a hole that Jason Hutton could have sprinted through on that one.
Well, I'm not sure if I could have, but boy, Felder sure could. But Calvin just sold out. I mean, they were coming after West that time and brought the house, and Felder just had a big hole to drive it through there on the left guard.
Bryce Hufford on for the extra point. Slides it through the right upright with 5:28 to go. We're knotted at 7. We'll take a break. Calvin's offense back to work when we return.
Biggie's Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Where family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Cheers to good times, great friends, and a place where the game is always on. Only at Big E's.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University.
Yay! Okay.
Back at Calvin University, an interception by Joshua Miller has allowed Trine to score on a 26-yard TD scamper by Salim Felder. And we are tied at 7-7. 3rd interception of the year for Miller, the freshman from Avon, Indiana. Kick off comes off the foot of Belmonte. Big hole for Hudson Shoup up the right side, all the way out along the boundary to the 45. That's one of the best kickoff returns we've seen for Calvin. The elusive, speedy Hudson Shoup from North Carolina with a big return there.
Yeah, well, it's tough to practice that, but it's the old muff it, have it bounce right to you play. Nice job by Shoup and good field position for Calvin.
Hugo Belmonte, the kicker, made the stop at the 44-yard line. Calvin will start there. We're tied 7-7 with 5:22 to go here in the first quarter.
So we saw Calvin try to run it last time when they were backed up to their own 2 with moderate success. It was that opening possession, all passes, where they were able to score the touchdown. I bet they'll go back to the air here.
2 receivers to the right. Carter Bausma joins them on the right side. Vaccaro will throw a quick tunnel screen to Bausma. He's got it at the 44 and knocked down quickly at the 47.
Yeah, it's like a run pass, right? You just throw it out right there at the line of scrimmage. You get 3. I guess he got 2 on that. It's a pass, but it's kind of like a run.
Basie and Trudell over to make the stop. Along with Ridge Howard, it'll be 2nd down and 8 from their own 46. Vaccaro will give to Hogan. Tries the right side, and he runs into traffic there and is stonewalled. Good surge by that defensive line. Blake Lincoln, along with a host of other Thunder, make the tackle to 46. Running game just struggling to get going. Hunter Hogan's just 54 yards in his last 2 games after amassing 600 in the first 4.
Well, now you're 3rd and 8, so you're definitely throwing, and they've protected Vaccaro well, but can somebody get open?
Here comes the blitz. Look out. He's going to be dumped back at the 37-yard line. Coming off that right blind side. The corner was Sylvester Orozco, unblocked, and Thomas Vaccaro never had a chance. The sack is back to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, it's the tough blitz to see because it comes right from Vaccaro's blind side, right? And the ideal play in that situation is to throw it where the blitzer comes from, but when you can't see it, it's hard to do that. Nice call by Trine, good execution, and the Knights got to kick it away.
First blitz package by Trine, and it's successful. On to kick is Drake Irwin. This one's going to be whistled dead. Gage Jones trying to be a bit of a premature gunner on that one, and he was a good 3 yards offside, so that'll move Calvin back 5 yards.
Offense number 4, 5 yards, 4th down.
Yeah, you're just trying to time it, right? Get down there quick, and he went just a little bit early.
Drake Irwin having a pretty good year punting. This year he has averaged 42 yards on his 19 punts. Rugby style, but also can catch and kick it as well.
Might be able to throw it if you need him to. Well, you never know.
Snap is good. He'll take one step and boot an end-over-end kick. Taken by Burris at the 32. Works to the left side, and then he's dumped by Luke Mishmerheisen. Check that. It's not Mishmerheisen. That's a Parker Kirshner, freshman DB from Traverse City. The other, number 18, makes the stop. 33-yard line. 1st and 10 there for Trine.
Yeah, good coverage by the Calvin punt team. Double numbers are tough, but the one good thing about Mitch Merheisen is he's like 7 foot tall, so that was the shorter 18.
That's right. Didn't take me long to figure that one out. Hey, around the MIAA today, brought to you by NAI Wasinski of West Michigan. West Michigan's largest independently owned commercial real estate firm. 3 games all happening this afternoon. Alma's at Olivet, Albion at Kalamazoo, and the big one, Jason, is at Adrian, where Hope and the Bulldogs meet in a showdown for first place.
Adrian jumped out 10-0. Hope has come back to take a 14-10 lead in that one.
Here it's Trine, 1st and 10 on their own 33-yard line. 7-7 ball game with 3:40 to go in the first quarter. RJ West out of the shotgun. Look left, now throws to his underneath man at the 39. Cut there by Gianni Pisano.
Yeah, that time Calvin just rushed 4, played coverage, good coverage. West had time with nobody open, just threw it out to his safety valve there and got a nice gain.
Schnurstein made the tackle. 2nd and 4. Again, West has time over the middle. His man is Burris, and it's complete at the Calvin 45. Hit immediately by Minahan. Too much time for RJ West to throw.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is Calvin's just at a point they've been the last couple of weeks where the only way to get pressure is to blitz. And if you want to be really good on defense, you have to get home without blitzing. And they just haven't been able to do that much.
1st and 10 from the Calvin 45. West will go deep down the left sideline. Caught, but out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Great catch by Sheets. Good coverage by Jair Nolan, though, sort of railroading him toward the sideline. And there was no place for Sheets to go other than out of bounds to catch it.
Yeah, we haven't seen Brady Jacobs since that opening kickoff when he was helped off the field. And so Jair Nolan, who we thought was not going to start today, has played, gone the distance. Good coverage that time, and sets up 2nd down.
From the 45, Calvin has Isaiah Hill, Matthew Zimmerich inside D lineman, Cade McCullough, Schnurstein, the linebackers. Knights show blitz, now they back off. West to throw, left sideline, tipped on a good defensive play by Nolan, and that just prevented Sheets from being able to see it into his hands. Incomplete at the 25, it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, that time 3-step drop for West and get the football out. A bit of a timing play and a good job by Nolan to break it up.
Well, there's an adage you hear in sports, stay ready to be ready. And Jair Nolan today, not expecting to start, literally because of the injury on the opening kickoff to Brady Jacobs, gets called into action immediately, and he's made 2 fine defensive plays on the last 2 throws from RJ West.
And Calvin needs it. I mean, they don't have many seniors, right? Jair's one of them.
3rd down and 10 from the Calvin 45. 3 receivers out to the wide side, the right side. West back to throw. Here comes the rush. He's being chased by McCullough. He's got him back at the 35. Caden McCullough with a big quarterback sack.
There aren't many motors like Caden McCullough, man. He came out of blitz and he was blocked. He gets through the block and still makes the sack. What a play by the Allendale alum.
19-yard loss on that sack by McCullough. Not to be denied, and Calvin forces the punt. It's 4th down and 29. Hugo Belmonte standing at his 20 He'll kick deep to Kalen Kolanowski at the 20.
Big time answer by that Calvin defense, right? Trine's got 7 that came on that short field after the interception. Playing with a lot of energy, playing well here in this first quarter.
Belmonte's kick is a low liner that hits at the 39, fielded on the hop by Kolanowski, and he's swarmed immediately at the 36. First to hit him was Tyron Larkin, and Calvin will start there from the 26-yard line. Those couple of touchdown drives. The first touchdown was from Calvin, 7 plays and 44 yards. covering 151. Vaccaro's 21-yard TD pass to Seth Anderson gave the Knights the lead. Salim Felder's 26-yard run capped a 3-play, 34-yard drive for Trine. Those TD's drive scoring summaries presented by Paris Motors. Find your next drive at Paris Motors. A fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs right here in Grand Rapids. 1st and 10 for Calvin at their own 26. Handoff running to his right is Hogan. Tries to reverse his field, and then he runs into a very unfriendly Blake Lincoln, the senior from Olivet. That's the strength of this defense, Jason, is the linebacking crew, and they'll play 6-7 guys. Howard, Basie, Lockhart, and Schrock start, but they'll rotate a couple more in there as well. Loss of a yard.
You can see why Calvin came out throwing the football. Yeah, it's just tough to run against that linebackers. They read it so well.
Hard count by Vaccaro, free play, so he'll loft it down the right sideline, and it is incomplete. No, it's picked off by Washington.
Yeah, but that's
the good news is Thomas Vaccaro knew he had a free play, so like he often does, threw it up for grabs for the big fella to go get it, and then a fine defensive play out there by Corey Washington, who gives up 9 inches to Mishmerheisen. He picked it off at the 40, but this one will not count.
Yeah, that's why you throw it, right? I mean, you can put the ball in harm's way, because worst case scenario, you're going to come back to 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 6 after the offsides penalty on Trine.
Let's set up that Calvin offensive line. Garrett's applying starting lineup offensive line. Has Wyatt Young at right tackle, the freshman Jaden Fless at right guard. Mike Liggett over the ball at the center. And on the left side, it's Braden Steinbacher and Andrew Berg. 5-yard walk-off takes it to the 31, where it'll be 2nd down and 6 for Calvin. Thomas Vaccaro has been active here in this first quarter, throwing the football. He has already attempted 11 passes, completed 6 for 43. 2nd down and 6 at his own 31. He has Hogan to his right. He'll fake the handoff to him, swing it out right flat to Klunder. Oh, look at the pursuit back at the 27. He is rocked. He being Klunder by Emil Drake for a loss of 2. 3rd down and 9, and they are diagnosing those tunnel screens.
Yeah, really nice play by Drake. And so the speed and athleticism of that young Trine secondary, at some point here, do you try something where you get them creeping up and go over the top?
3rd and 9 from the 26. Vaccaro has time. He's hit as he throws, lofts it down the left sideline. Too far, incomplete. Washington stride for stride with McCoy Baxter. And it's a 3 and out for the Knights. They'll kick it away again from their 28-yard line.
Now we're seeing both defensive coordinators not afraid to send the blitz. That was another blitz that time for the Thunder. Nice job by Vaccaro standing in there and getting it out. But just had to throw it a little bit sooner than he probably wanted to, a little overthrown. But that, you throw it incomplete, and now you punt.
Drake Irwin standing back at his 14. Kick it deep to Tristan Burris. Line drive spiral, grabbed at the 34. Eludes one tackler and then is pounded to the ground on a good coverage play by Jonah Carlson at the 35. 1st and 10 there with 39 seconds to go in this 7-7 game. Appreciate the great video crew bringing you all these shots today from Calvin University. Executive producers Adam Tozer and Lucas Moore, along with director Nate Porter, and our birthday boy today, Justin Kendall, celebrating 30, well, not sure what it is, but we'll just say happy birthday to Justin and thank this outstanding crew for their work today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, getting shots of a peak color weekend in Michigan and sunshine bathed crowd here at Calvin. 1st and 10 for Trine at the 35-yard line. Their own 35, play action pass. West rifles it right sideline to Burris. Minahan wraps him up there, but he picks up 6 yards. RJ West's got a strong arm. That ball had some zip on it. Fairly long pass for 4 yards.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 215 pounds. He looks the part, man. RJ West, solid. The quarterback play in the MIAA, Bob, is really, really good.
2nd and 4. They give it to Barnett. Big hole up the middle as he sidestepped the first wave. Jair Nolan finally throws him to the ground at the Calvin 38. That's a gain of 8 at 19 yards by Cortavian Barnett. Big hole again in the middle of that line. That's the end of the first quarter. We've got a good one. Calvin and Trine battling 7-7 here after one quarter. We'll step aside when we come back, see if that Calvin defense can stiffen against a potent Trine offense here on WXSP TV, 96.1 The Game, and Michigan Sports Radio.
Whether it's a first savings account or a mortgage down the road, Lake Michigan Credit Union is there every step of the way. As a proud sponsor of Calvin Athletics, LMCU is investing in what matters: student success, strong communities, and a bright future for all. Thank you, LMCU, for helping our student athletes and our neighbors dream big and bank smart.
Bob Sack and Jason Hutton back with you here at Calvin as we start the second quarter, brought to you by Skipper No Strink Wealth Management, partnering with you to help unlock your financial potential and build your legacy. Jason, 7-7, tie game after one, but boy, it feels like right now the field is just slanted in Trine's favor, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Early, Calvin had all the momentum. The interception in the first possession of the game, they go right down and score. Defense gets a stop down there inside the 10, but it certainly flipped here. I mean, offensively, Calvin hasn't been able to do much since that opening drive with the short field, and Trine really seems to be finding its groove, especially its ability to run the ball between the tackles. Calvin's got to start fitting that run a little bit better here, or this one's going to be it's going to be trouble.
74 yards in rushing for Trine. They have the total yardage advantage, 136-34. First and 10 from the Calvin 39 for Trine. Hampton H-back right. They'll run behind him as Barnett tries to get to the edge, tracked down beautifully by Reed Vogler and thrown for no gain at the numbers on the right side.
Yeah, a really good way to try to slow down the run attack is just bring more bodies into the box, right? So Vogler, the safety, comes up close to the line of scrimmage, and when Felder tried to bounce it outside, Vogler was there to bring him down, no gain.
Second and 10 from the right hash for R.J. West. Sends two receivers to the left. Back to throw, looks to his right. Here comes the rush again. Zimmerk had him behind the line. And then cleaning up is Caden Bolduck again, but it was Zimmerk that really forced that pressure and caused West to try to elude it.
Yeah, you got to get him off his spot. Calvin does that, and the pursuit comes from Bolduck. Big time play from that Calvin defense, which was kind of on its heels there late in the first quarter, but two really good plays here to start this second quarter. Now you got to get off the field on 3rd and 16.
3rd and 16 from the Calvin 45. Sheets and Williams have been fairly quiet. Burris has been the main receiver. Nice play zone. Back to throw is West. Slings it left sideline, complete to the freshman, Zach Pillow. He spins out of one tackle, but then finally is dropped by Bryson Newell. That's his first significant action of the year. Comes up with a big play. The gain was for 7 yards to the 39, back to the original line of scrimmage. So 4th down, and Hugo Belmonte will come on to kick.
Yeah, we talk about depth. I mean, here we are, injuries, the linebacker position. Bryson Newell getting a shot there. Nice job by Gage Jones, the first to get there to slow him down. And then it's Newell able there to finish it off. And Calvin's going to get the football back here.
Kolanowski standing at his 10. Knights very much aware of a fake. That was costly last week. Beautiful spiraling kick by Belmonte, and it reaches the end zone where it'll be a touchback for Calvin. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Knights. This month in Calvin Athletics history is presented by Applied Innovation. Today we highlight the 1984 Calvin graduate Laura Knapp. Between 1980 and 1984, Laura was a 3-sport athlete, starring in women's cross country, softball, and women's track and field. She was the MIAA women's cross country MVP in '83 and the Great Lakes regional champion as well. All conference in softball and track and field helped the softball team reach the '84 World Series. Later earned All-American honors in the 5,000-meter run. That's this month in Calvin Athletics history, a tribute to outstanding multi-sport athlete Laura Knapp, presented by Applied Innovation, connecting Calvin alums for 36 years. 1st and 10 for Thomas Vaccaro. Got to get the offense clicking here after that first drive resulting in a touchdown. Fakes the tunnel screen to Hogan, now goes down the sideline. He's got Mishmerheisen at the numbers at the 40, and he dropped the football. Beautiful route. Corey Washington wanted a push off, but Luke had that right in his hands. Couldn't hang on.
A good scheme there from Calvin, right? Because Trine's been coming up and taking away that short, quick passing game. And so you fake that, and you go downfield, and you got your guy open. Just can't bring it in.
2nd and 10 from the 20. 12:58 to go here in this knotted first half. In motion, Caleb Dabowski. Back to throws Vaccaro, fakes to Hogan, has time over the middle. It's picked off at the 33 by Emil Drake. Ball was intended for Bilesma, overthrew him, and that's the second interception of the day by Thomas Vaccaro. He had time on that one. Not sure what he saw. The ball was really nowhere near Carter Bilesma, and Calvin's defense will have to go back to work with a short field again.
It looked like Bilesma stumbled. Bilesma coming out of his break almost goes to the ground, and right there he trips up and he can't continue the route, and that makes the timing be off on the throw, and boy, Trine gets a big-time interception. Now they're on the 14.
Yeah, great call, Jason. That's exactly what happened. Thomas Vaccaro thought Bilesma would be in that spot, and the big tight end just didn't have his footing coming out of that cut. So back to work goes the Calvin defense. They go with K.J. Harp, Luke Bushhouse, and Isaiah Hill on the front line. McCullough, Scherstein are the linebackers. Gage Jones in at that night back. On 1st and 10 from the 15 for R.J. West. Handoff trying to get wide to the left is Barnett. He does. Turns the corner at the 15, then is hammered at the 11 by Scherstein and Minahan. Picked up 4. Check that, it wasn't Barnett. It was Rashawn Street coming on that jet sweep.
Honestly, Trine's done a really good job on Carson Scherstein. I mean, he has not made as many plays as we're used to seeing, but that time, sideline to sideline, and a nice job by 2 getting over there to make that play. And the first time we've seen that speed sweep from Trine there, and Calvin did a nice job.
Streets is their fastest guy, and they found ways to get him the ball here, even though he's been pretty well covered by Nolan. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Handoff to Barnett. No, they fake it and throw over the middle on the RPO. Incomplete at the goal line, intended for Zach Pillow. Caden Kolanowski came up in pretty good coverage. Just got enough of a hand in there to deflect it at the goal line.
Yeah, really good job by Kolanowski, right? Because that's what Trine's trying to do. Are we going to run it? Are we going to throw it? Kolanowski, good coverage that time, and did just enough to break it up. Big 3rd down play here.
Caden's been so good. 45 tackles coming into this game. Already 2 pass breakups here in this first half, and a fumble recovery. Big 3rd down and 6. Let's see if that night defense can come up with another 3rd down stop. Ball at the 12-yard line.
What does Lamar Bell do here? Is he going to send extra bodies? He has done that most of the day here in this situation.
Burris in motion. West back to throw, looks right, now throws over the middle, and it's behind the intended receiver. Pillow still could have had it, couldn't hang on in the end zone, had a touchdown, incomplete. The Knights get a break, and Trine will send down the field goal unit.
Well, Calvin dropped one, and Trine drops one, but you're right, that pass was behind. Calvin played coverage, they did not send anybody. Plenty of time for West, and his throw was a little bit behind his receiver, just enough to make that one fall incomplete.
Pillow, the freshman from Cocoa, Florida, 3 touchdown catches already this year. And that deep wide receiver room that Trine has. 29-yard field goal attempted by Hufford. Snap is good, and he punches it through. Bryce Hufford gives Trine their first lead of the game. 10-7, 11:55 to go here in the second quarter. We'll come back and see if this Calvin offense can muster up some energy here, down by 3 on the Calvin Sports Network.
Calvin showed me the importance of a family-like community. I saw this sort of community present in both my academics and in my athletics. On the field, my lacrosse team took Proverbs 27:17 to heart. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Saying Calvin became my home away from home does not do the place justice. The relationships I made in my time here and the spaces I've grown familiar and fond of have truly made Calvin my home. Calvin University, go beyond.
Time now for Know Your Knights, presented by Family Fare, with a location near you, including one in Rockford at Wolverine Boulevard and 10 Mile Road, not far from the home of McCoy Baxter. McCoy is a 6'1", 183-pound sophomore wide receiver, played his high school football at Rockford. One of the speediest players on Calvin's roster, has already snared 10 passes in his young career, including a touchdown last year. That's Know Your Knights, presented by Family Fare, and it's been a turnover fest so far. Jason, 3 turnovers in this game, and all 3 have led to points.
Yeah, all 17 points in this game coming off interceptions, 2 thrown by Thomas Vaccaro, 1 thrown by R.J. West. And we talked about turnovers as being a factor in this game. That's been the case so far, but pretty even battle, honestly. We've kind of seen the momentum go back and forth. Calvin had it early, Trine has it more recently, but it's a tight ball game.
Kickoff taken by Shoup. The right side numbers, big hole up the right sideline, still on his feet over the 40. And for the second consecutive kickoff, Hudson Shoup will give Calvin a 1st and 10 at their own 36. Jordan Williams saved a touchdown for the Thunder. The speedster from Charlotte, North Carolina has been really good.
Shoup's got a burst, doesn't he? That time he didn't even muff it. He just caught it and went. Nice blocking, and boy, good field position again for Calvin. Can they get that offense going, right? Since that first possession, just haven't been able to do much, haven't been able to run the ball at all today. -6 rushing yards for Calvin as a team. In the passing game has just been a little off here the last 2 or 3 possessions as well.
There's 34 total yards in offense for Calvin. Got to give that defense a rest, too, and pick up some first downs. From the 46, 1st and 10, they give us to Hayden Slagers. Probes the left side, got a couple out to the 48. Cole Basie met him there. 2nd down and 8.
Just not a whole lot between the tackles. They're going with Slagers now, and they've moved Hunter Hogan out to the slot. Slagers a little bigger back, but Trine doing a good job there at the line of scrimmage defensively.
Carter Bausma, the H-back to the left. That Trine defense has Bo Skidmore, big fella Samaj Brooks, along with Cam McCarver on that front line. On 2nd down and 8, here's Slagers. A little bit of daylight over the right side this time. Carries the pile near the 1st down marker at the 45. They're going to mark him at the 46. Corey Seymour was there hanging on for dear life, but a good, strong run by Hayden Slagers.
Yeah, easily Calvin's best run play of the game, 6 yards, and they set up 3rd and short. Be interesting to see what Ben Dixon goes with here in this short yardage situation.
Hard count by Vaccaro, trying to draw that defensive line offside. He's been successful with that a couple of times here in this first half. Inside of 11 to go, trying up 10-7. Hogan slot right. Vaccaro will give to Slagers, powers ahead. It's going to be really close. Depends on where they spot it. That's a tough spot. I thought he clearly crossed the 45. They're going to mark it right at the 45-yard line. That's shy of the 1st down by about 2 feet. Cole Basie stonewalled him there.
Well, they've tried to go up the middle 3 straight times, and they're 4th and 1. Will they try it a 4th time? I got to believe they're going to try to get something out to Hunter Hogan, get the ball to 7 in some way here.
He's split out to the wide side, the left side. 4th down and 1 from the 45. Vaccaro will throw for it. He's going to roll to his right. Here comes the pressure. Now he's going to run. He's got a 1st down and slides down at the 41-yard line. Just enough for the 1st down. Making the tackle was Basie again. Let's see that replay.
A really nice job by Thomas Vaccaro, because he had to cut back and make a couple of guys miss, and I am shocked they didn't call a penalty on Trine for hitting the quarterback when he went into a slide.
No doubt. You know, Jason, way back in week 2, you and I did the game with Concordia, Wisconsin, and you pointed out just how effective Vaccaro has been on 3rd down runs for 1st downs. I've seen it all season long, and there he showed his escapability again. Slagers takes the handoff, crashes over the right side. He's runs into traffic at the 40. Xavier Compton up to meet him first, pick up a 3.
Yeah, you look at Vaccaro's stats. He doesn't have a ton of rushing yards or a big yards per carry, but how many of his rushes have resulted in 1st downs? Because I bet you it's at least half. Like when he runs the ball, he gets the sticks.
That sounds like a next-gen stats number, doesn't it?
It does.
Pickup of 3 by Slagers on that last run. 2nd down and 7 from the Trine 40. Play fake to Slagers. Now they swing it out to Hogan, and again, it's diagnosed beautifully. Xavier Compton was there, so was Arthur Bryla, and no gain. In fact, he may have lost 2 back to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Trine's doing such a good job inside against the run that those safeties and linebackers, you know, they're not respecting the play fake, right? They're not respecting the run up the middle, because they know if Vaccaro hands it off, there's not been much there, so they're cheating out to that quick out, and they've just shut that down from Calvin today.
3rd and 10, Vaccaro play fake, throws deep down the right sideline for Hogan. He's got it at the 10-yard line. What a catch by Hunter Hogan. Tightrope the right sideline, reached up and corralled it for the 1st down. A couple of flags come in late. I think it could be a late hit on the passer. Xavier Compton was the corner that pretty good coverage on Hogan, but just a beautiful arc on that pass by Vaccaro, and Hogan made a great catch.
When we talk about Calvin taking more chances, more shots down the field, that doesn't mean you always have to go to Luke Mitchberheisen, who's 6'7", and the obvious choice in that situation. But you can use Hunter Hogan there from the slot to go out, use his speed.
Roughing the passer, defense. half the distance to the goal.
So that
Automatic first
personal foul for roughing the passer gives Calvin 5 more, and he'll move it inside the 10-yard line down to the 5, or it'll be first and goal.
Great throw by Vaccaro. Great ball skills by Hunter Hogan. Right, to see it and go get it. That's a big-time play. That's what the Calvin offense was missing, especially last week.
8:13 to go here in this first half. Trying up 10-7, but the Knights are knocking on the door.
So now it becomes, what do you run down here? Because you haven't been able to run the football, right?
This is where oftentimes they've tried to get something underneath to Klunder or Baalsma sort of sneaking out of that H-back position.
I don't know if they have it in the playbook, but tight end delay is usually really good. Can you run something there where you sell block and then Baalsma's not accounted for and you sneak him out?
He's lined up at the H-back spot to the right. Hayden Slager's the running back off the right hip of Vaccaro. Now in motion is Mishmerheisen. Heavy set to the right side. Vaccaro will look that way, throws to Mishmerheisen in the end zone, tipped away by Kanan Jewett.
Yeah, so they got Joshua Miller out there one-on-one with Luke Mishmerheisen, and Calvin's trying to take advantage of that. Miller's just being really, really physical. I mean, he just grabbed onto Mishmerheisen that time, but it's legal because the ball's tipped. Once it's hit, everything's fair game.
Second down and goal at the 3-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. Fake the jet sweep. Vaccaro keeps it up the middle, fights for the goal line, not going to get there. Hit at the 1, driven back. Good surge by Cole Basie to prevent him from hitting pay dirt.
Yeah, you're just trying to run power there with your quarterback, and you send the jet motion there, and you try to get the linebackers out of the box. And boy, it had a promising start, but Calvin hasn't run one of those speed sweeps yet or handed it to Hogan on that motion. So Trine doing a good job inside as they have all game.
Third down and goal at the 1-yard line for the Knights, trying to punch it in and regain the lead here in this first half. Hogan slot right, tight formation to the right. Now they stretch him out to the right. Vaccaro back to throw. Right end zone to Mishmerheisen. Did he hang on along the sideline? He did! Touchdown, Calvin Knights! Luke Mishmerheisen catching that ball nicely in front of Miller for the touchdown. A delayed call there. I think they wanted to make sure he didn't juggle it. So they had, it was in front of Xavier Compton for the score.
They had Mishmerheisen closer to the right tackle and Hogan on the outside, and they crossed them, right? Little rub concept, and you get Mishmerheisen on the out. It was good coverage, just a good throw and catch.
Most of the time when Vaccaro looks for Mishmerheisen in the end zone, Jason, it's sort of the fade route or high arcing variety. That time, Thomas drilled it, and Mishmerheisen made a nice grab and held control on to attempt the extra point. Logan Knapp. Operation is clean, and Calvin leads 14-10 with 7:12 to go. We got a good one. Stay with us on the Calvin Sports Network. Back after this.
Night Nation. Today's game is brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, they've partnered with our community to provide financial and risk solutions that keep your future secure. Whether you're planning ahead or protecting what matters most, they're here for you. Connect with Russ Clausing at 312-458-4523 to learn more. Capital and Risk Management Services. Strategic solutions. Pursuing a secure future.
In today's game, we are looking for our Energizing the Knights, a player who gives Calvin a key lift throughout this afternoon. It's brought to you by Playa Bowls, New Jersey's original acai shop, located at Knapp's Corner in Grand Rapids, serving healthy and delicious acai, pitaya, coconut bowls, smoothies, and more. That's the Energizing the Knights, provided by Playa Bowls at Knapp's Corner. Bob Sack, Jason Hutton back with you, 14-10. Calvin has retaken the lead, and that offense got going, and they did it, not a big running attack, Jason, but just enough with Slagers to keep the defense honest. High short kick taken by Colson Conrad. Flag comes in. He returns out over the 30. Good pursuit there, and Bryson Newell there to make the stop. You said it earlier, Calvin's so respectful of Rashawn Sheet on the deep kicks. He returned one for a TD against Hope. They are kicking it short, and Colson Conrad, the backup linebacker from Byron Centers, returned every kickoff.
I don't know if he's had that many kick returns in his career, but they are targeting him on the kick returns. We'll check the penalty flag.
During the return, holding, return team number 17, 10 yards from the end and run. First down.
You talk about that last Calvin drive, Bob. You know, the start of that, they got the great field position on the kick return, and then 3 of their first 4 plays were runs, including the 4th down play where it was probably a called pass by Vaccaro, and he ends up running it and converting it. And then they hit the big play. The big play of that drive was the pass from Vaccaro to Hunter Hogan that set up that touchdown pass to Mitch Merheisen. So a nice drive, and the first time we have points tonight that didn't come off a turnover.
13th touchdown pass of the season thrown by Thomas Vaccaro. He has accounted for 2 of those today. 1st and 10. Give us to Felder. He has room up the middle. Sprints his way out over the 30 to the 31. Reed Vogler saved a big gain there. So far, we talked at the outset about how Calvin's got to stop the big plays. So far, that's been pretty good. Really haven't allowed the big home run balls by any of these outstanding athletes. R.J. West on 2nd down and a 1st and 10 will run option left, and he is crunched by C.J. Sheets. Kolanowski hemmed him in, and then Sheets came over and laid the wood right at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that was a great job by Kolanowski to force him in, and Sheets on the pursuit. That's what they didn't have on the previous play. McCullough filled the hole, forced Felder to cut back, and just no pursuit there from the Calvin defense, which allowed him to go for, 11 yards on that 1st down play.
West picked up 2 on that option left. 2nd down and 7 from the 35. Out of the shotgun, he'll turn and give it to the running back Felder again. Stumbles at the line, but then is able to stay on his feet and rumble for about 6 yards out to the 41. Caden McCullough spilled him there. It's 3rd down and 2 at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, McCullough doing his best Carson Schneerstein impersonation. That time it was Schneerstein who fired the gap and forced Felder off his mark, but it was 6 yards before McCullough could get him to the ground.
Felder 8th in the conference in rushing. He's got it again. He's not going to get the 1st down on the first hit, but he's very close with a 2nd effort, and he got it to the 44. Salim Felder, not big, but very strong at 5'9", 180. He rushed for nearly 1,000 yards last year, really is the feature back with Barnett in the lineup.
Yeah, we saw a lot more Barnett in recent weeks for Trine, but Felder's kind of been the guy today. I mean, they're playing both of them, but I feel like Felder's been more effective for the Thunder.
Caden McCullough, the tackling machine, in on that last stop. 1st and 10 from the 44. Play fake here. West to throw, and he's going to be sacked back at the 34. Who else? Caden McCullough, the blitzing linebacker, with another quarterback sack, his 2nd of the day. This one is an 8-yard loss back to the 36.
Hey, he just shoots right through the A-gap there. Nobody to pick him up. A 2nd sack of this 1st half from McCullough, who's seemingly been everywhere. And Lamar Bell just keeps sending him, man. He just keeps bringing the blitz. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That time it got home.
2nd down from the 36. 4:40 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Calvin up 14-10. On 2nd and long, West will swing it left flat on the screen to Barnett. Has a little bit of room, but Carson Schneerstein hung on and tripped him up at the 40. 3rd down and 14.
Wow, that's a really good play by Carson Schneerstein, because that was a good play call. Bolduc came off that edge, and they had it set up on that little bubble, and if Schneerstein doesn't get him, boy, that might have been a 1st down.
Barnett, not a big guy, just weighs 5'6", but he is sort of a bowling ball at 180 pounds. 3rd down and 14 from the 40, their own 40. Trine sends 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Back to throw is West. Has time. Here comes the rush. He escapes it and will flushed out to the right side, being chased by Schneerstein. And finally run out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Schneerstein engaged Jones in hot pursuit. They hemmed him in and pushed him out. It's 4th down and 14 for Trine.
Well, that time Calvin shows blitz, but they back out of it, and they don't blitz anybody, but nobody picked up Sheets. Confused the offensive lineman a little bit. Who's rushing, who's dropping into coverage. Sheets not able to get him into the ground, but he got him off his timing, and Schneerstein, really nice play, fighting through the block of Barnett and getting him, and Trine's got a punt.
Jason, how big has it been to have C.J. Sheets and Caden Bolduc back in the lineup as the edge guys for Calvin today after missing last week's game? Here's a fake punt. They go for it on 4th down and 14. They're not going to get it. The up back received the snap. That's Cal Lockhart. He tried to work the right side, Luke Bushhouse had nothing to do with that fake and made the tackle. A 2-yard gain. Calvin's got it 1st and 10 at the 43 of Trine.
Well, I'm sure Trine saw the Adrian fake punt on tape last week and thought that's something we can exploit. It's something, I don't understand the 4th and 13 on your own 40. That was a surprising call to me.
3:04 to go. Calvin gets the second half kickoff. This is the what we call the 2-for-1 opportunity here, where if the Knights can manufacture sort of a time-consuming drive, they've got a chance to have the ball twice at the end of the first half and now to start the second half. Vaccaro on 1st and 10, looks deep down the left sideline for Anderson, well covered by Joshua Miller, incomplete. Going for it all on the turnover.
Miller is a physical corner there. He's in bump and run coverage, and he got Anderson physical with him, and boy, that was a pretty good throw by Vaccaro, but just no room to get it in there over Joshua Miller.
6'2", 170. That's a big-sized corner. From Avon, Indiana is Joshua Miller. 3 interceptions already this year, 5 pass breakups. On 2nd and 10, Vaccaro play action, running for his life, throws it right sideline. He's got Mishmerheisen, tiptoes out of bounds at the 35, just shy of the first down. But again, Vaccaro, good presence to know where the rush was and get it away just in time.
Yeah, I think he wanted to try to get Bilesma there coming across the formation on the out, but well defended by Trine. Mishmerheisen did a nice job coming back to his quarterback. Boy, big spot here, 3rd and short.
3rd down and 1 from the 35-yard line. For Calvin, Slagers, the running back to Vaccaro's left. Mishmerheisen wide to the right. Hogan slot left. Trine with 4 down linemen. Basie and Howard sneak up. The give is to Slagers. Breaks a tackle behind the line and falls forward for a 1st down at the 31.
Yeah, nice job.
Basie's knife through, but Slager's a little more power than Hunter Hogan, breaking that initial hit.
Yeah, and a nice job getting over there behind Braden Steinbacher and Andrew Berg and moving the chains, and now Calvin will just take it to the 2-minute timeout.
We've come to the 2-minute timeout. It's Calvin 14, Trine 10. Knights on the move, 1st and 10 at the 33 of Trine. Let's see if they punch it in when we return on WXSP 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
Calvin's final home football game is next Saturday, November 1, when Olivet comes to town for Senior Day. A few tickets remain, but whether or not you have a ticket, come to the stadium and enjoy Fan Fest starting at 11 o'clock. Pre-game band show, pre-game words from Coach Fig, the night walk viewing, food and beverages with Chick-fil-A and Pliables, all sponsored by Spartan Stores and Fast Signs. Calvin's final home game of the season next Saturday afternoon. Right here, though, 2 minutes to go. The Knights have it 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line of Trine. Trying to cash in on that 4th down fake punt that Luke Bushhouse turned away and gave Calvin great field position at the 43-yard line. Slagers off the left hip of Vaccaro, 1st and 10 from the 32. Play fake, he'll throw to Hogan left side, but it's batted down. Incomplete.
That's the second time we've seen a tip ball today from that Trine defense. You know, you're going to get man-to-man on the outside. If you can just take a shot to either Anderson or Mishmerheisen, because Trine's walking their safeties up. But that time, good defensive play by Trine.
Sylvester Orozco, who picked off one of Vaccaro's passes in the first quarter, got his outstretched paws on that one, knocked it incomplete. So here's where you got to manage the clock, too. If you throw 3 straight incomplete passes, Jay, you give Trine a lot of time offensively. So probably a cat and mouse game here by Troy Abbs and Trent Fig to how to spend the timeouts. Play action on 2nd and 10. Vaccaro's going to go deep down the right sideline for Mishmerheisen. Jump ball at the goal line. Joshua Miller right there to knock it away. And I'll tell you what, you said it earlier, he's been really good at that cornerback spot. 6'2", 170-pound freshman from Avon, Indiana.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand fighting, and I'm not saying it's pass interference because I think Mitch Merheis is doing just as much as Miller is, but you see that it's physical on the outside right now, and Miller's winning those one-on-one battles. That's why Trine can bring those safeties up, because Miller's doing an excellent job out there on the island.
Just a jump ball and
play through the hands.
Luke had a shot at it. Just couldn't bring it in. 3rd down and 10 now from the 31. Trine shows blitz. Here they come.
Screen.
Calvin sets up the screen to Hogan. He eludes Samaj at the line of scrimmage and then angles toward the left sideline where he's crunched by Ridge Howard and Corey Washington at the 25. So they pick up 7. It's 4th and 4. What do you do here?
Well, I think he's going to leave. Coach Fick's going to leave the offense on the field. They're going to try to pick this up here. You're looking at a 42-yard field goal, which is really tough anyway. But I'm surprised Trine hasn't called timeout here. They're just letting the clock run. Try to conserve some time. They're probably going to get the ball back here if they get a stop.
Great move by Samaj Brooks by Hogan to avoid Samaj Brooks. 4th down and 3. Calvin will go for it at the 25-yard line. Vaccaro with that hard count.
They're going to call timeout. I don't think they'll snap it here. They're trying to get him off sides. And they get an extra chance to think about this. But I still think that if you're Calvin, you go for it here.
And he's got the field goal team coming on. Logan Knapp is going to attempt about a 43-yarder, and that's where his long has been this year. So he's got the leg. It was the 43 yards that he just pulled to the left down at Heidelberg that would have won it on a walk-off field goal in September. Eventually, Calvin won that thriller in overtime, 40-37. Knapp's got the leg strength. Question is, can he find the uprights?
And like you said, Calvin's going to get the ball to start second. I'm honestly surprised. Trine could have saved another 30 seconds. They have a timeout, right? I mean, they could have saved another 30 seconds there. Yeah, they have 2 or 1. They could have, had some more time to get the football back. So
Calvin took the lead on a 10-play, 54-yard drive midway through the second quarter. The Vaccaro TD pass to Mishmerheisen from the 1-yard line was the go-ahead touchdown. Paris Motors scoring drive summary brought to you by Paris Motors. Best used car selection in South Grand Rapids. Visit them this week. So Logan Knapp will have it spotted by Tate Dome at the 32. It'll be a 42-yarder just inside the left hash. Rowan Stewart to snap. Dome to hold. Knapp, who's 3 of 6 on field goals this year. Snap is good. Kick is on its way, and he got it. Logan Knapp splits the uprights from 42 yards to give Calvin a 7-point lead, 17-10, with 53 seconds to go.
That's why I said kick the field goal. Well, big play there for Calvin. Extend the lead to 7. Now you got to find a way to get to the half with that lead, then get the football to start the third quarter. But all in all, I think a good first half from Calvin. This first 30 minutes has had its change in momentum. Calvin had it early, Trine had it in the middle, and now Calvin's kind of got some back here late with that big fake punt stop and the touchdown pass to Mitch Merheisen, and now the big-time field goal from Logan Knapp. So
today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Educatius, the world leader in study abroad programs. Educatius brings hundreds of international students right here to Michigan. Enrich your family and change a young person's life by hosting an international student. Learn more at educatius.org. Stay tuned for today's halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens. It's packed with good stuff, including a quick word with Trent Fig, stats, first half analysis, a look at an amazing Calvin alumnus, and our special guest today, Calvin women's basketball coach Mark Christner. It's all ahead on today's halftime show built by Insignia Homes. Whether your next project is an urban renewal in the city, a remodel of the family lake house, or a new country estate, the Insignia Homes team is eager to help you achieve your dreams. 53 seconds to go, Trine with 1 timeout. Hayden Slagers has it teed up at the 35. This time he'll kick it deep. Caught at the 13 and hit hard at the 28. The ball carrier was Tyler Drain, the backup running back. Good stop by Gabe Amede there.
Was that more of our cat and mouse game? Did they move Sheets up, trying to get him trying to get him the ball, and then you kick it deep away from him again.
Good special teams work by Calvin.
Oh, no, he was deep. They just kicked it away from him.
Good to see at the end of the first quarter today the Calvin men's basketball team honor for their 3rd straight MIAA tournament championship. They'll be in action this afternoon or tonight at 5 o'clock. Cornerstone comes to Van Noord Arena for a scrimmage game that's open to the public and free of charge. We'll see some college basketball season before the Michigan State game tonight. Enjoy that.
You know, the kickoff game is, that's things that people don't realize is like your ability to kick it directionally or kick it in the end zone every time. Those things are huge if you can do them in a kicking game standpoint.
On 1st and 10, R.J. West with a long throw across the field on an out route to Tristan Burris. Caught, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 43. Minahan on that soft coverage was there. And so if you're Calvin, how do you play this? Still 43 seconds to go. You don't want to yield too many yards here.
Yeah, but you got to stay. You can't get beat over the top. But you sneak in a blitz here every once in a while just to, if you get them, that would be huge. But they're not sending anybody here.
Knights sent 4, plenty of time. West flushed out. Isaiah Hill gave chase. He threw it right sideline, out of bounds, intended for Hebert, incomplete with 36 seconds to go.
Yeah, nice job that time by Hill. If you can get pressure without blitzing, that's big. And that time, it led to the incompletion.
2nd down and 10 from the 43. Trine still with 1 timeout left. They trail 17-10. CJ Sheets, Caden Bolduck on the edge, trying to get some pressure here. Knights send 6. Here they come. West to throw. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to be swarmed at the 37 and dropped for a 6-yard loss. McCullough got him. So did KJ Hart with pressure from the inside, and it's 3rd down and 15.
3 sacks in the first half from Caden McCullough, maybe 2.5. Either way, incredibly impressive. Calvin in his zone that time, but the blitz came and West didn't even have time to figure out what kind of coverage Calvin was in.
No timeout. Look out, Calvin. There's no. This is the. Yeah.
Wow.
Jason described that one because we almost saw something we never see.
I'm not even sure I can explain it.
Let's get the defense on the field. The play clock will start. Am I ready for play?
I've never seen that, Bob. So it looked like Trine called timeout. Calvin brought the whole team out on the field like it was a timeout. Trine's going to run a play with no defense. And the white hat came in and intercepted the snap. He wasn't going to let it happen. Now we're going to give a timeout.
Now Trent Figg calls one.
The 2nd timeout of the half.
Yeah, had that play actually occurred, I don't think I have ever seen anything like that. And I can't imagine how Trent Figg would have responded to that one.
Well, the white hat wasn't going to allow it. He took the snap. Wow. That's wild.
Stay tuned for today's halftime stats and analysis from Jason Hutton, brought to you by Advantage Commercial Real Estate. Advantage Commercial Real Estate is your experienced commercial real estate advisor in West Michigan. Well, it's been an interesting first half. Calvin led 7-0. Trine tied it at 7, then went ahead 10-7. Now Calvin tied it, or took the lead 14-10, and has extended that to 17-10. Calvin's ahead, and yet it just doesn't feel like they're really worthy of that 7-point lead, because for a while, a large portion of the first half, Trine just dominated offensively and really stymied Calvin's offensive attack as well.
Yeah, Calvin's being outgained by 50 yards by Trine, and not that Trine's been like spectacular offensively. They've been better than Calvin, but it's the short fields, right? I mean, the first touchdown came on a short field, then you get the fake punt, which set up the field goal there. Calvin's just opportunistic, right? Taking advantage when it's there, and they've done a nice job here in this first 30 minutes.
3rd down and 16. Ball just outside the 37-yard line. Trine operating on their own side of the field. They sent 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. This big crowd comes alive here, trying to rally this defense. Knights send 4. West back to throw. Here comes the rush. Sheets has got him again, and he's going down at the 33-yard line. With 20 seconds to go, C.J. Sheets with another sack.
Well, Calvin's found something that's worked here. They're standing up 6 men at the line of scrimmage. They're only going to send 4 of them, but which 4 are going to come, which 2 are going to drop in coverage, that's for the offensive line to figure out. And so far in this first half, the Thunder line has not been able to figure it out.
Calvin lost this game last year 35-30, gave up 11 sacks. Today they're flipping the script on Trine, and that is the end of the first half as the Knights will let that clock run out, leading 17-10. Stay right here and go down to the field here momentarily, where Trent Figg will be standing by. after a first half he's got to be pleased about. Up 7-0, and that turnover, that interception by Alex Minahan got things rolling.
If she is successful, she will need a $40 gift card to Pineapple. Our contestant today is Lydia Grosma. Make some noise for our contestant.
Let's go down to the field where Coach Trent Fig is positioning himself in front of that camera, and I think we got him. He's there. Trent talked all week about getting off to a fast start today. That happened. How pleased were you with the way this game started?
Yeah, so the word of the week for us was compete, and we got to compete every single rep. I think our guys have done that, but we have to possess the football on offense. All the points in this half have come off of turnovers, so we have to do a great job of owning the football. We got to get takeaways on defense. Right now, we have to continue doing what we're doing, and we got to step it up a notch.
Coach, how happy are you with your defense, especially the ability to get to the quarterback?
Yeah, they've done a great job. We said all week we got to get to him. Right now, they've done it. We got to reset here at halftime. We got to go do it again for 2 more quarters.
All right, Trent Fig, thanks for joining us at halftime. Calvin up 17-10 after 30 minutes of play. We'll step aside. Stay tuned for the halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens. Coming up with an action-packed halftime show. Don't go away. It's all ahead on the Calvin Sports Network.
Marching Knights are now in their 2nd year.
The coach just puts you in the game. Everything is on the line. Are you ready? Just like a winning team needs a strategy, your finances need a game plan. At Skipper and Osterink, we're your financial coaches. We strategize together, striving to adapt to every financial play. Your victories are our victories. Our goal is to help you be successful. Join the Skipper and Osterink team. Your financial success is our focus.
To know Christ is to know suffering. It was in my deepest, darkest moments of my life that I think I was able to glimpse a little bit of God. I realized that being in such an intensive, immersive musical experience made me happy, and it gave me more confidence in myself and in my voice. Redeeming every square inch for me now means creating great music programs on a strategic level that impacts many people. The most personally rewarding venture is starting the first professional symphony orchestra in the city of Bandung. Now I know that music can change lives. This happens one person, one heart, and one precious moment at a time.
Night Nation. Today's game is brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, they've partnered with our community to provide financial and risk solutions that keep your future secure. Whether you're planning ahead or protecting what matters most, they're here for you. Connect with Russ Klausing at 312-458-4523 to learn more. Capital and Risk Management Services. Strategic solutions. Pursuing a secure future.
I hadn't had any research experience prior to the research I did in Doug Vandegrin's lab after my freshman year. It was through the experience in that lab that I realized how much I loved not just science, but doing research and sort of the open-endedness of research. We were trying to tackle problems that nobody had the answer to. That was absolutely formative. The work we do in my lab is broadly motivated by energy. One of the challenges with renewable sources is that they're intermittent. And so they necessitate efficient storage mechanisms. In many cases, we are not yet at the stage where these storage mechanisms are as efficient as we would like them to be. What my lab discovered is that by taking 2 layers of a very, very thin crystal and twisting them to a small angle, we can dramatically improve how efficiently that surface will transfer electrons to a molecule in a liquid. And so this particular work that we did, I think, exemplifies an approach of my group, which is to be open-minded about taking problems, methods in one discipline, and to think about how we can translate those ideas over to tackle problems in, say, chemistry. It really comes down to that question of stewardship. How can we be better stewards of what has been sort of entrusted to us? In teaching and mentoring, seeing in every person that I interact with that they are the image of God, that can shape, I think, in powerful ways how we relate to people. Those principles are derived critically from my beliefs, my faith, and what I learned to think about much more deeply here at Calvin. It's certainly made me place a high value on the undergraduate research, even though I still have PhD students and I still have postdocs. The way I mentor my undergraduate researchers in my lab, I think that's been inspired by the models that I saw in the department here at Calvin and how those faculty invested so much in us. And hopefully many Calvin students can bring this idea of stewardship to tackle some of the looming challenges that we have.
When I got the call from the people from the Order of Canada, from the Governor General's office, I didn't even know what to say. It's an award that's one of the highest civilian honors for Canada, and it was a big deal and mattered tremendously. And it also put a spotlight on autism in a way that hadn't been done nationally. Well, when I think back on it, about my career journey, it really started with softball. And the team had 2 women coaches who were awesome. They were women who smoked and wore lipstick and were not afraid to play good baseball. At the end of the season, they said, gather around, girls. We need people to work at a summer camp, a camp for children with disabilities. Until I worked at that camp, I'd never met a person who was autistic, and it was transformative for me. Often the field attracts people who themselves feel sometimes marginalized. So my special education experience at Calvin led me to think differently about what it meant to be a responsible citizen. Autism Ontario is just entering its 51st year. We serve over 50,000 families, and we help them to find ways to advocate and to tell the story of autism in many ways. We run programs and events that bring people together to connect on relationships. We speak with government leaders, and we talk about what autism is to the community and to speak about public awareness and acceptance. We had an opportunity to speak with government, and out of that came an advisory panel. And that only comes through hard work, real stories, and saying, okay, on this we can agree. One of the things we failed to do for many years is ask people what their experience is in being autistic. How does that feel? What are the things that are hard for you? And that affects change because people learn about people's stories and how they have more in common than different. I think very much about my mother's own faith walk and how that informed my life. My mother was about doing justice and loving mercy to every person she came in contact with. And she instilled that in myself and my siblings, and how we needed to not be afraid of difference, and that difference is actually a gift of creation. If I think about students who are coming to Calvin today, what I really recommend is get as many experiences as you can while you're here. This is one piece of time in your life, but it can be formative for many years to come.
Biggie's Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Where family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Here's to good times, great friends, and a place where the game is always on. Only at Big E's.
Whether it's a first savings account or a mortgage down the road, Lake Michigan Credit Union is there every step of the way. As a proud sponsor of Calvin Athletics, LMCU is investing in what matters: student success, strong communities, and a bright future for all. Thank you, LMCU, for helping our student athletes and our neighbors dream big and bank smart.
This year has definitely changed my world. I'm making an impact here. It feels good to know every day that I'm growing in my abilities that I love, which is film, and I'm also growing as a believer in faith.
I'm really thankful that I was able to do work in my field during school, at school, and that has given me the confidence to move forward with doing my own independent work and getting to put my foot in that door before I even graduate. I don't think I would have found elsewhere.
Welcome back to the halftime show built by Insignia Homes. Here at the break, Calvin leads Trine 17-10, a very entertaining first half that has seen the Knights take a 7-0 lead, relinquish the lead trailing 10-7, and then claw back for a 14-10, eventually 17-10 lead. Bob Sack alongside a special guest here at halftime. It's the head women's basketball coach at Calvin University, Mark Christner. Great to have him join us. And it's that time of the year. We chatted with Bill Saul last week, the men's coach, and get a chance to talk with you this week as you start your practice and get ready for this season. In your 7th year here at Calvin, and as you look ahead to this year and think back to how fast time's flown, how's Mark Christner just in terms of comfortability and settling into his role as the head coach?
I think we're settled. It's great. You know, I have an incredibly supportive spouse, my wife Sarah, which is helpful being here, being an alum. We're really proud of the work that we've done. We're proud of the work that our players do, and we are certainly excited to tip it off here very soon. 7th year after a stint at Waynesburg in Pennsylvania as the head coach. And last year, Mark really broke through. The tournament wins over Trine and Hope on successive nights in the MIAA tournament was sort of that hump that you needed to get over. Describe for us how important that was and what that meant to the kids and to you to have really 6 solid years, but just looking for that last hurdle over 2 really good teams, and you got it done last spring. You know, the obstacles in the league have been big for us. Hope and Trine have been top of the country in a lot of ways over the last couple of years. So I think for us, we want to get to where they have been, and then we want to try to stay there. And so I think our finish last year has propelled us into a nice offseason, propelled us into preparing well for this year. We have a very ambitious schedule. Our league is good again, and we expect to be competing at the top for it, though.
College sports, you always lose some players to graduation, pick up new ones. You lost a couple of rotational players last year, so Sophie Sensenig and Val Dirksey, who was really just a presence in the middle defensively, blocking a lot of shots. Those 2 are gone, but you replaced them with some new players as well. Let's talk about the new players first. Who will we see this year that not necessarily developing or playing right away, but developing through the year, and say by January, February, you're feeling good about their addition to the team?
Yeah, you know, we have 3 freshmen that we really like, plus Makaro Bande from Unity Christian. But Izzy Watlinski is from Lake Orion, and I think Izzy's game, her intelligence, she'll play on the wing for us a little bit and provide some perimeter shooting. Adeline Nyhoff from Holland Christian and Lily Nitz from South Christian are 2 players that I think will come along as we go through the year, just picking up the pace of college play, and just as we plug them in to their positions and what they can do well for us, I would expect that they would get better and better as the year goes on. One of the interesting things, Bob, we do have 3 people returning from injury who missed last year, who were key contributors for us 2 years ago, and we're really excited to have Sammy DeKuyper, Ryan Rohr, and Emma Woody back. And they're kind of almost freshmen in some ways. They haven't practiced in a little while, but to have them back really balances our group well.
And Mark, that goes along with some other players back, led by Anna Fernandez, just an outstanding, really a 2-guard, combo guard really for you. Tell us about some of the players who had played last year, and you're expecting just a nice step up from them for this new season.
We can start with Anna because she had such a fantastic finish and was an all-region player, first-team all-league player for us. We expect expect big things from her, and we need her to play well. She knows that. She's ready for it. Caitlin LaRue was a second-team All-League player for us. She's a junior from Grand Rapids Christian. Her versatility really helps us. She can play a little bit inside. She's a 38% three-point shooter. She's physical. We like what she has done, and she's continued to grow. Chloe Wiegers, back at the point from Lake Orion, is a junior. Chloe's assist-to-turnover ratio, her athleticism, her defensive ability really helps key us in the half court. And then I would say Lydia Saul. Hannah Saul had a great finish to the year. We would like for her to pick up where she left off, both in scoring and in rebounding. Her sister Lydia has really come along too, and we're excited about her progress. And then the last two, probably Gabby Hallowell, Jamie Custer, both sophomores, Gabby from Lansing, Jamie from Ohio, but both provide backcourt depth and a little shooting and some athleticism.
All that returning talent.
Yeah.
That's a boatload, really.
It's a lot, yep.
Has propelled Calvin to a national preseason ranking, which I know you're excited about because that just says a lot about where the program is and gets folks excited for the season. Let's close with one other question I want to ask you about, and that is just the state of women's basketball. It just seems, thanks in large part to the Caitlin Clark effect, the sport itself has just ratcheted up in the last few years. How do you feel that? How do you sense that at Division III basketball just nationwide, college pro level, high school level, developing like it has been?
You know, it's great. The talent is amazing. So we played Oshkosh last year in the first round of the national tournament. Their senior is now playing overseas in Ireland and had like a 40 and 20 game to start her career. Like, she was a grown woman. She's super talented. And so you look across the region and we have really good players. And I think the coaching in college, the competitive nature, especially in our region, a lot of different styles, very pro style in a lot of ways in terms of motion and 5-out and ability to get to the rim and to make plays. The shooting's gotten better. Overall, the game is in a much better place, and it'll continue to grow. And it's our hope that we play a style that our Calvin fans and community love.
Mark, can't wait to watch this team this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of expectations, a lot of excitement. And with that should be some great afternoons and evenings at Van Noord Arena this year. Thanks for taking the time to join us. And 17-10 as we head towards the end of halftime, built by Insignia Homes. Stay tuned. Second half coming up. Calvin's up 17-10 as we head to the third on the Calvin Sports Network.
At Calvin University, innovation powers everything we do, from the classroom to the field. It's how we learn, how we lead, and how we grow together. That's why we're proud to partner with Applied Innovation, a regional company providing practical advice and cutting-edge technology, automation and imaging to drive business forward. Thank you, Applied Innovation, for investing in the future, ours and yours.
Release, relate, rejoice, revival, to live for God.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it.
For busy student athletes, getting your wisdom teeth pulled can seem like a big deal. The Center for Oral Surgery and Dental Implants make it a comfortable experience. With locations in Grand Rapids and Rockford, they also can help with dental implants and tooth extractions. For great oral care when you need it, visit GrandRapidsOralSurgery.com for more information. Halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens coming to a close as we get ready for the third quarter. Jason Hutton, first half stats. Trine really has the edge in a number of areas, but the Knights own the edge on the scoreboard thanks in large part to the turnovers.
Yeah, you can look at total yards and you can say, wow, Trine's got 62 more total yards, but what you don't see is all three Calvin scoring drives were pretty short fields, right? I mean, their worst starting field position on a scoring drive was their own 46 after a good Hudson Shoup kick return. They also had the short field on the interception on their opening possession. And then after the fake punt, which they stopped, they started on the plus 40-yard line. So that's been a big difference for Calvin. But you look at it, they're 2-to-1 pass attempts to run attempts. They have just 12 rushing yards. I do think they're going to have to run it a little bit better in this second half to come away with the win, but throwing it often and not doing a bad job in the passing game.
A couple of stats jump out at me. First of all, Hayden Slager's the leading rusher, 7 carries, 18 yards. That alludes to what you talked about with the Calvin rushing attack. Hunter Hogan, just 2 carries. And how about this? Thomas Vaccaro's thrown 24 times. He's thrown the football on average between 25 and 35 each game, already reaching that figure here in the first half. Like Trent Figg said, it was going to see an air attack much greater today.
And we've seen it. And it's been that opening possession when they scored a touchdown. It was all passes. Now, it was a short field after the interception, but especially if Calvin can stay with the lead in this second half, they're going to have to run the football.
For Trine, R.J. West, 8 for 17. Big story there is the sacks. 3 sacks for Calvin, several other hurries or hits as he throws it. It's been a really good effort by that Calvin defense. We are ready to go here in this second half. The kick comes to Tyler Porte, who returns it. The reserve tight end continues the trend of kickoffs coming to the up guys. Xavier Compton made the tackle. First and 10 for Calvin to the 35.
So pretty good field position for the Knights, and we'll see what they come out here trying to do in this second half. Came out throwing it in the first half. I think we're going to see more Hayden Slagers back there and more Hunter Hogan in the slot would be my guess.
Those halftime stats and analysis brought to you by Advantage Commercial Real Estate, your experienced commercial real estate investors in Michigan. First and 10 for Calvin from their own 35. Slagers will take the handoff from Vaccaro. He runs into the teeth of that defense at the 37-yard line. Aiden Billiard first to meet him. Picked up 2, maybe 3. Good hard running by Hayden Slager. Such a difference between him and Hunter Hogan. Slagers he'll go to where the ball is designed or the play is designed. Hunter's more apt to shift it. Slager's running with power. 2nd and 8 from the 37. Vaccaro play fake, throws deep down the sideline to Hogan. He's got him at the 27-yard line. And it is a first down for Calvin in Trine territory in front of Corey Washington, the safety late coming over. Big gainer by Hunter Hogan.
Well, that's what I like the adjustment of Calvin is you get Hunter Hogan downfield and you get him on a safety or that time on the corner on the zone that time, but a big separation for Hogan. A nice throw from Vaccaro.
First and 10 from the 24. Play fake again. Vaccaro to throw. End zone goal line. He's got Mishmer-Eisen caught at the 1-yard line. Over the top of Joshua Miller, out of bounds at the 1. That's the kind of I want that football and nobody else is going to get it that you want from Luke Mishmer-Eisen.
Well, we've been watching Mishmer-Eisen and Miller just go at it all day. Oh, excellent call by the official, too. What concentration by Luke Mishmer-Eisen, because Miller was right all over him, and he held onto the football and maintained it to the ground.
First and goal from the 1. They give the Slagers. He is hit at the goal line, powers his way. No, they say his knee touched it about the 1-foot line. Good effort by the sophomore from Ontario, California.
Hayden doesn't agree. He got up furious. He thought he was able to stay on his feet. That's the old, if your forearm, I don't know if his forearm touched. The forearm touches, you're down. That was close.
Vaccaro under center on 2nd and goal inside of the 1. He pushes ahead with a tush push, and it is a touchdown. Calvin Knights. Thomas Vaccaro with the quarterback keeper, and Calvin opens up a 2-touchdown lead.
Tempo, right? I mean, that drive was just a textbook, get it and let's go. And they just executed at a high level. And even when the call maybe didn't go their way on the Slagers run, they get up there, they push Vaccaro in, and boy, Calvin with a 2-score lead. That's big time here at home, trying to bounce back from that loss last week.
2 big pass plays on that drive. The 38-yarder to Hogan down the seam, and then the pylon catched it at the 1-yard line by Mishmer-Eisen for 20 yards. That sets up the quarterback sneak. The kick by Knapp is good. And with 13:01 to go, it's Calvin 24, Trine 10. Knights on defense when we return on the Calvin Sports Network.
The coach just put you in the game. Everything is on the line. Are you ready? Just like a winning team needs a strategy, your finances need a game plan. At Skipper and Osterink, we're your financial coaches. We strategize together, striving to adapt to every financial play. Your victories are our victories. Our goal is to help you be successful. Join the Skipper and Osterink team. Your financial success is our focus.
Fans, today's Calvin Women's Sports Report is presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union. On Wednesday night, the Calvin women's soccer team downed Kalamazoo 4-1 to clinch a share of its 6th consecutive MIAA regular season title, as well as the top seed for the upcoming MIAA tournament. Under the direction of head coach Emily Ottenhoff, the Knights are currently 11-4-0 overall and 7-0 in conference play. That's today's Calvin Women's Sports Report, presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union, where our members really like earning more when they save and paying less when they borrow.
I don't know if you saw it because you were reading, but those gold uniforms, the women's soccer team, those pop under the lights. What do you think? You think the football team would ever roll out in all gold? That'd be sweet.
They've got the gold pants. Slagers with a high short kick taken by Keegan Hampton at the 20. He'll try to get to the boundary and then is escorted out of bounds by Gabe Amid, who's been really good on special teams. Flag comes in late. And a little bit of extracurricular there. Calvin takes that kickoff to start the second half. Marches in for the score. Quick 4-play touchdown drive. Officials sorting it out. Not sure, just a little pushing and shoving after the play. The ball was downed at the 32 of Trine after Keegan Hampton returned that kickoff 10 yards.
You're going to sort this out again. It might be on both sides. I know there was a player from each team. Mike's not on. They're calling it on Calvin.
Personal foul on Calvin. And it'll be first and 10, 15 yards further down the field for the Trine Thunder. Touchdown drive again, 4 plays. 65 yards. Kept off by the Thomas Vaccaro quarterback sneak. Scoring drive summary presented by Paris Motors. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget here in Grand Rapids. Kickoff returns have been pretty favorable for both teams. The starting positions, other than Calvin starting at their own 4 after they had a goal line stand in the first quarter, the field position has been pretty good for starting offenses. First and 10 at their own 47. Trine with R.J. West at quarterback. Right up the gut, he gives to Cortavian Barnett. Caden McCullough was there to drop him at the 49. Great tackle by McCullough again.
You don't think Trevor Martins is going to get Wally Pipp, do you? You can't have enough good players. I mean, Caden McCullough is just playing, man.
He's got 7 tackles thus far on 2nd and 8. West to throw. Slings it right side to Tristan Burris, a falling down catch at the Calvin 47 inside the numbers.
But that was just a quick pass, and Calvin still got pressure. I mean, Bolduc was in there forcing West to get rid of that, so Calvin continues to get pressure on R.J. West, which has been a huge factor for the Knights in this game.
3rd down and 4 at the Calvin 47. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. For West, Calvin rushes 4. West has time, throws on a quick curl route, complete to Zach Pillow at the 42. Caught for a first down. They'll move the chains. You know, it's early, Jason, here in the 3rd quarter, but think about the scoring outputs that Trine has had in recent games. 35 against Hope, 38 against Albion, 59 against Olivet. Calvin's defense has held them to 10 points.
Yeah, Calvin defensively has been outstanding. Trine is a very good offense, and you look at that Hope score. I mean, they were scoring with them there for a while.
Knights bring 5 on the 1st and 10 pass. McCullough blitzing through, forced a hurried throw by West, and he delivered it far away from the outstretched hands of Tristan Burris. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they continue to get pressure. And boy, when you can stop the run, if you're Calvin, as they've done a better job here on this drive, that's really going to make this defense formidable. Trine has had success running the football. I'm a little surprised they haven't tried to do it more here.
5 quarterback sacks today for Calvin. On 2nd and 10, as you say, it's the running play. Running to his left is Cortavian Barnett. Swallowed up by that Calvin defense at the 37, still picked up 5.
Yeah, Barnett, nice run there. Of course, their other running back, Salim Felder, has been the more effective of the two today. But 3rd and 5, you figure it's plus 37. Trine's got 2 plays to try to pick this up.
Felder with 53 yards, Barnett with 25. On 3rd down and 5, West will roll to his right. He's got a man wide open, pillow down outside the numbers of the 15, still on his feet, and he is going to run all the way to the end zone, spinning out of tackles. Kolanowski finally wrapped him up, but he threw him down inside the end zone. Touchdown for Trine. What a play by Zach Pillow.
Well, he's wide open. I'm not sure what happened there, but Calvin lost him. And Vogler maybe coming up, trying to make a play, got behind him, and wasn't even a great throw, but Pillow was so open, he still ends up in the end zone after he takes a couple defenders with him. But boy, Trine needed that, right? Because it was starting to get away from the Thunder. Calvin with a 2-score lead, and Trine just marches right down and answers.
Bryce Hufford on for the extra point. And it's blocked. It is blocked. Jair Nolan, I think, got through there and deflected it. That could be big. Leaves the score at 24-16 with 10:49 to go. We'll step aside. Knights on offense when we return on the Calvin Sports Network.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
Today's third quarter is brought to you by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, providing personal financial strategies tailored to your goals and lifestyles. Reminder, if you're coming to Grand Rapids for a Calvin home game or any other university event, your home for accommodation is the Hilton Garden Inn, less than 1 mile south of campus. And while you're there, be sure to catch all the games on the big screens at Big E's Sports Grill at just off the parking lot of the Hilton Garden Inn. Host also for our Inside Calvin football every Tuesday. Be back there this Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Come out and join us. Great meal and great menu and a lot of fun football talk with Trent Fig and the players on Tuesday nights. Trying to cut the gap to 1 touchdown. Here's a high end-over-end short kick taken by the tight end Paul Bauma at the 25-yard line. Rumbles his way up to the 33. Knocked down there.
Bauma and Conrad going to have a little competition here to see who can get more kick return yards. Maybe if this game's tied at the end, we'll just tie break it with that.
I don't think I've ever seen a game where there's been so many short pooch kicks to the backup linebackers and tight ends. Calvin will start 1st and 10 from their 34.
Yeah, great drive last time. Quick drive, hit a couple big pass plays. One to Hogan, one to Mitch Merheisen.
Slagers off Vaccaro's right hip on 1st and 10. They fake to him, and now Vaccaro will throw deep down the right sideline, just over the outstretched arms, incomplete to Luke Mishmerheisen at the 45. Corey Washington on the coverage for Trine.
Yeah, good pre-snap read that time from Vaccaro, because in my opinion, Mitch Merheisen on Washington is a more favorable matchup for Calvin as opposed to on Miller, who's been really tough. So good chance that time, but just couldn't quite connect.
One guy's really been quiet today for Trine is the outside linebacker Roman Schrock, the senior from Goshen. Last week's MIAA Defensive Player of the Year. On 2nd and 10, Vaccaro looking downfield will have to keep it and run, and he is yanked down right at the line of scrimmage on good pursuit.
Yeah, I think the crowd wanted horse collar, but it looked like he just had the back of his jersey. He did not have his hands inside the pads, so I think that was the right decision not to throw the flag. But again, Vaccaro rolling out and just nobody open. Good coverage downfield by Trine and set up 3rd and long.
Trudell, 6 foot, 230 pounds from Elkhart, showing his speed coming from the backside to chase down the quarterback. On 3rd and 10, Vaccaro to throw, steps up in the pocket, now throws deep down the right sideline over the head of Mishmerheisen, who sort of cut off his route at the 40 in front of Miller. And the pass sailed over his head. It's 4th down, a quick 3 and out for Calvin's offense.
Yeah, but it's a smart play by Vaccaro. That was just throwing it away, punt the football. Remember early in the first half, Trine's first touchdown of this game came on a short field after he tried to force one in there on 3rd down. So good job by Vaccaro to keep the play alive and just get it out of there and give your team a chance to punt and play defense.
Drake Irwin on to kick it away from his own 20-yard line. Booted deep to Tristan Burris. Snap is low. Irwin corrals it, sends a high, wobbly, lazy catch. Fair caught by Burris at the 32. And there it'll be 1st and 10. Jason, time now to go around the state for score updates from NAI Wasinski of West Michigan, providing all facets of commercial real estate. Albion's at Kalamazoo today. Olivet is hosting Alma. The big one we've been watching is the Adrian Hope matchup at Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian continues to lead 17-16. That game was 17-14 at the half, so Hope has gotten a safety. And Alma, not surprisingly, all over Olivet, 53-14.
Olivet is Calvin's next opponent next week here. 1st and 10 from the 32. They give it to Pertavian Barnett running to his right, slung down at the 31. Carson Schnerstein knifed through there to make the tackle, and whistle and an injured Thunder lineman.
Albion and Kalamazoo are 16-all in the third quarter. How about that?
That's a surprise. And Kalamazoo struggling really in the conference season after opening it with a loss to Calvin here. Injury timeout. We'll step aside. Calvin up 24-16. 9:39 to go in the third quarter.
At Calvin University, innovation powers everything we do, from the classroom to the field. It's how we learn, how we lead, and how we grow together. That's why we're proud to partner with Applied Innovation, a regional company providing practical advice and cutting-edge technology, automation and imaging to drive business forward. Thank you, Applied Innovation, for investing in the future, ours and yours.
This Tuesday, October 28th, join me and Calvin head coach Trent Fig for Inside Calvin Football on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio. We'll be live from Big East Sports Grill on East Beltline. Be joined by players, coaches, and dozens of Calvin fans. That's Inside Calvin Football, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. from Big East Sports Grill on East Beltline. A lot of fun out there, and a couple of great interviews last week with Thomas Vaccaro and Matthew Zrimick. The injured Trine lineman, I believe, was William Walline, a junior from Maybe, Michigan, goes off gingerly. Such a common injury to see those big linemen rolled up on those running plays, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. You know where he went to high school?
I don't even know where Maybe is.
I didn't either.
Maybe
That's why I looked it up, because I'm like, maybe. He went to Milan High School, which, of course, if you're not from Michigan, or even some people from Michigan would call it Milan, but Milan High School.
Down south of Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor, yeah.
So where's Maybe?
It must be just one of them little townships right outside of there.
2nd and 10 as R.J. West goes back to work with 3 receivers out to the left from his own 31-yard line. Quick slant complete to Zach Pillow at the 39. He's dropped immediately by Gage Jones. First down, a gain of 10. Pillow's been a very active receiver here of late for Trine. He started slowly, but all of a sudden now has 4 catches for 48 yards. And, of course, had that touchdown on the last possession.
And we see West getting it out quick because he just hasn't had time today.
West back to throw time again. Here's a tip ball. Speaking of Matthew Zrimick, the lineman who was on Inside Calvin Football last week from Big East, stuck a paw up there, and it's 6'6". That's a pretty good defensive weapon when you know you're not going to get to the quarterback.
We've talked all year about how Calvin may be giving up some weight up front, but they are a tall team, right? Mitch Merheisen, Zrimick, Mark LeVar. Like, Calvin's got some tall dudes, and it's 6'6" that time. Zrimick got right up there and deflected that pass. Nice play.
Marcus Brooker and C.J. Sheets on the edge. Here comes the rush. 6 men sent. Delivering it quickly to the right flat is West. He finds Keegan Hampton, who's wrapped up immediately by Noah Funk. Good to see him out there. He was questionable today with an injury. Another big 3rd down, 3rd and 4 for Trine at their own 48. Hollow and Sheets, who's been very quiet. Sheet with just 1 catch for 15 yards. He'll split out wide to the left. Keegan Hampton slot left. Along with Pillow.
Calvin stands their linebackers up, and McCullough or Schnerstein, they both drop in coverage, and a nice job that time. Caden Bolduc got home and
hurried to throw on the pass that was intended from Barnett out of the backfield, and West had to throw it behind him just to get rid of it. It's 4th down and 4 at the 48, and right now Troy Abs keeping the offense on the field. That's another risky call here for the 11th year head coach for Trine.
I was about to say on 3rd down, watch 34, because I would bet Caden McCullough is going to blitz. He did not that time. and they forced the incomplete pass. Let's see if they bring him here on 4th down.
4th and 4 from their own 48. In motion, Pillow. West to throw over the middle. It is knocked away, deflected by Gage Jones.
Oh, no.
No, and they're going to get Jones for boy, I don't know about that. They're going to get him for a target?
Trent Figg is standing beside himself. He cannot believe it. I think they're going to call unnecessary roughness. I don't know if they're going to call him a defenseless receiver. That's a gray area rule and certainly difficult.
Those watching at home on television, let's see it on the replay. It looked like a pretty clean hit from Gage Jones.
Yeah, in fact,
Newell. I don't see that.
Newell hit his own guy. Maybe they're going to call Newell for standing over him.
The flag came in too quick for that.
There certainly did not appear to be any kind of penalty on the actual hit itself. Gage Jones hit him from behind, hit him in the back, nowhere near his head. At least it didn't appear to me.
Not at all. Not at all. Nothing malicious about it. Nothing seemingly illegal about that hit. Let's see how they sort it out. Huge call on 4th and 4.
Oh!
Gage Jones penalized. There's just no way.
That's not reviewable,
that's
right?
Not
in
reviewable.
D3. I mean, that's just not the right call. My goodness gracious. And now Gage Jones is ejected.
He's ejected.
And he won't get to play in the first half next week, right?
That's correct. More significantly, with the loss of Paul Hubbard, the loss of Kai Hanog, the injury to Brady Jacobs in the first half, that secondary is depleted, and that is just
Well, they have to look at that rule because at the higher levels, that's always reviewed, right? So if this was D1, or I don't know how the D2 rule is, they would look at that and it would be overturned. But you can't do that in D3. There's no replay.
Well, that is just a huge, huge call against Calvin. That one, we'll keep an eye on that. Remember that. This crowd trying to exhort this defense to come through here. Felder on 1st and 10, Barnett, runs behind the left tackle. Slices his way for 7 to the 31. Schneerstein over to spill him there.
Coaches love to talk about controlling what you can control, right? And there's nothing Calvin can do about that. They have no control over it. It's out of their hands. They've got to turn the page, and they got to play here and find a way to get a stop. But boy, that's a tough one.
And the key point about that was a 4th down play as well. Would have given Calvin the ball at midfield on 1st and 10. 2nd and 6 now. West will swing it on a screen pass to Barnett. He has space along the right sideline. Escorted out of bounds at the 23. Funk was there to push him out, but not before Barnett picks up the 1st down.
It looks like with Gage Jones out, Funk has come in at that strong safety position, and they've moved Vogler to the night position.
Yeah, that's right. Funk was questionable today with an injury. Back to throw on 1st and 10 is West. Over the middle, wide open at the 10-yard line is Burris. Spins away from a Funk tackle down to the 7 before he hits the ground. 1st and goal now for Trine at the 7.
Yeah, Calvin in his zone that time, and he just sat down there in the open space. Good throw.
From the 7, Felder spins out of a tackle off right tackle. Hit immediately at the line of scrimmage, though, for no gain.
Yeah, Reed Vogler, it seems like that's a natural fit for him in that night spot because he played linebacker in high school at Caledonia. So nice play that time by Vogler. And
Golanowski, too, coming up from that safety spot. Caden's been so good on run support. No gain, 2nd down and 7 with 6:50 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Calvin up 24-16. Sean Sheet wide to the left. Burris slot left. Trine moves from right to left. Heavy set to the left. They give us to Felder. Bounces it off the right edge and into the end zone for the touchdown. Salim Felder scores to give Trine a chance to tie this one up. Now I'm sure they'll go for 2. But boy, Jason, how do you, as a coach, the challenge right now to have your team rally behind their offense and defense after a call like that on the last possession?
Yeah, you just got to move on. I mean, it's nothing you can do about it. You can't control it. You got to go to the next play. Nice job by Trine that time. They're stretching it out to the right, and then just a nice little subtle cutback from Felder right into the end zone. This is a big two-point conversion spot. You know, it's a little early. I realize you're trying to tie the game, but a lot can happen in the next 21 minutes and 31 seconds. So it's a little early going for two, and this will be a factor the rest of the way.
Down by two, they run a Philly special. The pass thrown from Hubbard to Felder, wide open on the left side of the end zone for the two-point conversion.
Well, it wasn't a very good throw, and Felder had to go down and just barely scoop it up. That was actually pretty close to in the ground.
See on the replay here to even the score. The left-hander, Hubbard, to Felder, who had snuck out of the backfield.
Yeah, good job by Felder.
Good catch by Felder.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Calvin's offense back to work. We're tied 24-24, 6.5 to go on the Calvin Sports Network.
Night Nation. Today's game is brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, they've partnered with our community to provide financial and risk solutions that keep your future secure. Whether you're planning ahead or protecting what matters most, they're here for you. Connect with Russ Clausing at 312-458-4523 to learn more. Capital and Risk Management Services. Strategic solutions. Pursuing a secure future.
Bob Sack and Jason Hutton back here after that game-tying touchdown, two-point conversion by Trine. Our spotter Bill McElroy with a good point on that last call. Once that helmet from the receiver pillow fell off, I think that's what initiated the quick reaction by the official to throw the flag, because there was just, I didn't see any helmet-to-helmet contact on the replay.
Well, we have the luxury replay up here, and you know the officials don't have that, but certainly there was no contact to the head.
Another high short kick to the tight end. Paul Bauma returns out over the 35 to the 36.
Paul Bauma, he's the kick returner for Calvin. Good field position though here. Now big spot. I mean, we got a lot of time to play in this game, 24 all. But Calvin here offensively, a chance to kind of counter punch because Trine's come up with 14 unanswered.
Trent Figg this week thought this would be a game with a lot of points. Knew his offense had to match Trine's, and thus far they have done it. Right now, too, you got to give the defense a rest. That's the other important part about a drive here. 1st and 10 for the Knights. Baalsma slot right. Mishmer Heisman wide to the wide side, the right side. Now Baalsma in motion right to left. Vaccaro back to throw. He's hit and he tucks it in his sack back at the 31. He was looking for Hogan down the left sideline, and Hogan was well covered by Jahari Branch.
Calvin has just had a really hard time blocking Blake Lincoln tonight. Man, he's made a lot of plays for that Trine defense. And boy, Vaccaro did a really nice job just holding on to the football there.
He did. Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 from the 32. Hogan in motion. He'll fake the jet sweep to him. Vaccaro will keep it up the middle.
That's a first down.
Room, but then a really good tackle. But this one is going to help Calvin with a little bit of perhaps makeup. It was Aiden Billiard that looked like he grabbed him at the shoulder pads.
It's not a makeup. Like, he had him by the face mask, but I think every official out there threw their flag on that one. There's a lot of laundry out there, 15 yards.
Face mask. Defense, number 88, 15 yards.
That's the 5th penalty of the day against Trine. Calvin has 4. That'll move the chains and give the Knights a first down with 5:54 to go. Update on that Adrian Hope game.
Adrian's still up 1, but Calvin's on the 27 going in here with a minute to go. Down 1. Boy, I would have thought there'd be a lot more points in that game. And
great game down in Adrian. Right here, we got a dandy too. 24 all. 5:50 to go. 1st and 10 for the Knights. Trent Figg sort of slowing the offensive tempo a little bit here. Again, just to give that defense a little bit of a rest. Hogan slot right against a 4-man front. Basie and Howard, the linebackers. Now Basie shows blitz off the left edge. Here he comes. They block him though. Vaccaro throws it down the left sideline over the head at the 20-yard line, out of bounds, intended for Baxter. Corey Washington was there. I tell you what, most of the deep routes, we talked at the outset about the vertical passing attack of Calvin. Most of the deep routes, Jay, have been to the boundaries.
They have, and that one, just thrown a little bit to the outside. You're getting man-to-man out there. You're getting the matchups you want. With McCoy Baxter, you'd like to, just kind of let him run under it if you can with his speed out there. But good protection that time for Vaccaro. And again, Calvin continues to stretch the defense, which you like to see.
2nd down and 10, ball right at midfield with 5:30 to go in this 3rd quarter. Game tied at 24. Slagers takes the handoff from Vaccaro. probes his way, running to his left, and is able to just keep the pads low and pushed inside the 45 to the 43. Cole Basie cut him down there. Good 7-yard run by Hayden Slagers.
And nice job by Slagers that time. Didn't have it initially, bounced it to his left, and got a solid gain here, 3rd and short.
Marking at the 42, they'll throw for it. Vaccaro, right sideline. Mishemerizing, he's got it at the 22 in front of Washington. Knocked out of bounds by Emil Drake at the 15. Ball thrown to the back shoulder. Mishemerizing retreated nicely for him. Made a great catch.
You can see Corey Washington. He wants offensive pass interference, but it's been established in this game. They're not calling that on the outside, right? Both ways. It's physical. The defender, the offensive player. It's just gonna be a fight out there, and somebody's got to go get the football.
From the 18 in the red zone, 1st and 10. Vaccaro back to pass, fakes deep. Now guns to the goal line, incomplete at the right pylon. Intended for Hogan. Good coverage by Carter Bush. Boy, they rotate a lot of guys in that secondary, does Trine.
Yeah.
2 receivers out to the left now on this 2nd down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Slagers off the left hip of Vaccaro. Hard count, tries to get the Thunder to jump. Play clock at 10 for Thomas Vaccaro. Mishemerizing, single coverage from Joshua Miller on the right side. Gives the Slagers on the handoff up the middle. Knifes his way for 4 or 5 down to the 13. Cole Basie chopped him down there. It'll be 3rd down and call it 6 from the 14.
Well, a big spot for Calvin here, right? I mean, you don't want to have to get to a 4th down situation where you have to decide whether you're going to go for it or kick a field goal. You like to convert here, potentially even put it in the end zone. You get Mitch Merheisen one-on-one down here at the bottom, down here in the short side of the field. I wonder if he'll look that way.
2 receivers to the wide side, the left side. Vaccaro has time. Nobody open. Now he's going to take off and run up the middle. Hit hard at the 12. Really hard by Xavier Compton coming over. Daryl Hardy was also there to get him. He picked up 3, so he's short of the 1st down.
And right away, Trent Figg put the field goal unit out there, so didn't even consider going for it.
Ball right in the middle of the field, marked at the 12, so it'll be a 29-yard attempt for Logan Knapp. He's already hit from 43. No question with his leg strength, just the accuracy. 4 of 7 this year on field goals. Tate Dome to hold. Snap is good. Kick is on its way, and it is good. Logan Knapp with his 2nd field goal with 3:25 to go. Knights back on top, 27-24. As you can see, Vaccaro lunging for that 1st down, couldn't quite get it, and that set up the field goal. Trine back to work on offense when we return on the Calvin Sports Network, WXSP TV. 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio.
At Calvin, our faith in God and pursuit of excellence drives us. Our new soccer stadium reflects that commitment, offering a premier space for our student athletes to compete on and off the field. Whether you're an athlete, a summer camper, or a spectator, join our community of Knights at Calvin University.
Calvin's upcoming road trip is November 8th when they travel to Holland to meet Hope for a 5 p.m. kickoff. That's Fueling the Knights. Upcoming road trips powered by J&H Family Stores. Start your next trip with a stop at J&H Family Stores located throughout West Michigan and enjoy courteous customer service, quality products, and a safe, clean, and modern facility. Another Pooch kickoff after that touchdown. Ball's loose on the floor, but they're going to call him down at the 33. It was Keegan Hampton who returned that kick.
Another short kick. Calvin right there are going to kick it and not kick it deep, and that time it works pretty good. You get him back, at the 31-yard line, so we'll see if this Calvin defense can get the football back. You know, I think important to kick the field goal there for Calvin and Trent Figg. He wants to play on the lead. They've been playing on the lead all afternoon, and now you're back in front here.
Trine with that offensive line a little bit adjusted now with the injury to William Walline. Will Cody in there along with Evan Kerr, Dalton Robinson, Ronald Simpson, Jaden Boykin. 1st and 10 for Trine from the 31. Give us to Felder. He's got daylight up the middle. Pounds forward to the 40. 8-yard gain for Salim Felder. Noah Funk up to make the stop.
Yeah, just a nice job. Trine continues to pound it up the middle and do well.
On 2nd and 10. Quick pass to Hampton for a first down. Just a short 2-yard gain on the right side. Noah Funk there again. 1st and 10 now at the 43 after 2 plays and 10 yards gained by Trine. Inside of 3 minutes. R.J. West fakes the handoff, now dumps it on a little flare pass to the tight end, or rather the backup receiver. That is...
Yeah, nice design and nice job by Zach Pillow there, blocking out front. Pillow, we've seen him have a big second half catching the football. That time he got out and led block.
Pisano with that last catch for a 10-yard gain, first down. Here's a pass right side. It's picked off by Caden Bolduc. Intercepted along the right sideline. He and Jair Nolan were battling Rashawn Sheet for it. The ball rested on Sheet's shoulder for just a moment. Bolduc took it off his body and returned it all the way down to the 43. The 3rd interception of the afternoon for Calvin.
Well, how about the Reese Puffer alum? Because he's been playing at the line of scrimmage and rushing the passer all day. Now he drops into coverage and just did a great job of taking that football away and going the other way. What a huge play.
If there were assists for interceptions, that one would go to Jair Nolan. He really was the one that sort of deflected the ball or wrestled it away out of the hands of Street. Bolduc alertly came over and picked it off. What a play by both of those guys. Caden Bolduc with an interception, and that is his 3rd of the season. Check that 2nd of the season. 1st and 10, Vaccaro looks deep. Now he'll scramble to the right, slides down at the 37. Right in front of Cal Lockhart. Picked up 4. Call it the 39 is where he started that slide.
Yeah, they do it where you start the slide, which costs him 2 yards there. Wow.
2nd down and 6 from the 39. Handoff to Slagers, running to his left. Muscles his way for a few down to the 36, maybe the 35. Cole Basie over for the tackle.
Boy, this Mitch Merheisen Joshua Miller battle is just entertaining, right? They're nowhere near the play, and Miller's just laying on his back with his arms in the air, and Mitch Merheisen's just looking at him like, what are you doing?
3rd down and 3 from the 36-yard line. Calvin in Trine territory, needing to convert here on 3rd. Trine sends a blitz. Vaccaro rolls to his right. He's going to tuck it and go. He's at the 34, very close to the 1st down. Let's see where they spot it.
Wow, it is close. I think he's short.
Boy, if he is, it's just by inches. Again, boy, I don't know. 4th and 1, you got to go here. Thomas Vaccaro had the chance, I think, to get it, but the sticks are on the opposite side. So now he goes under center as they look for the tush push. And he'll get the 1st down thanks to the push.
Yeah,
Thomas Vaccaro plows ahead to the 31-yard line, moves the chains with 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Calvin up by 3 and driving.
The old quarterback sneak's been Calvin's best run plays this afternoon. But there you go. You move the chain, stay on the field. Nice job that time by the Knights offensive line.
Calvin now 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Play fake on 1st and 10. Vaccaro right sideline to Mishmerheisen, tied up by Miller. No flag. The ball was thrown back shoulder. And again, that entanglement between Mishmerheisen and Miller has been all day long.
Yeah, I get it. Like the whole Calvin sideline wants a call, but like the officials have established, they're just not going to call it. Like it's all fair game out there on the outside.
Still very few passes to the middle of the field. Everything has been to the edge.
That's because that's where all the Trine defenders are. They're all in the middle of the field. The outside there, you get man to man. Miller's just done a really good job, I think, on Mitch Merheisen. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Off the blitz they give to Slagers. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and hammers his way to the 23. Colson Conrad, the backup linebacker from nearby Byron Center, makes the tackle. Really nice
job. Another big 3rd down play. Let's see if Trent Figg runs the clock out to the end of the quarter. Looks like that is what he's going to do. We go to the 4th. It has been a dandy here at Calvin. Knights cling to a 3-point lead, trying to score more as we head to the 4th quarter. They're up 27-24 on the Calvin Sports Network.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? that next breakthrough in scientific research. At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
Calvin University Athletics offers summer sports camps in 15 different sports for kids in elementary school through high school. Visit calvinknights.com for a complete list of camps. Calvin Summer Sports Camps are sponsored by Power Strength Training Systems with 6 locations throughout West Michigan, with specialized training programs for high school and college athletes, plus customized training for adults over 40. Power Strength Training Systems is West Michigan's comprehensive athletic training center. Check them out today at powerstrengthpro.com. Calvin led at the half, 17-10. Expanded that lead to 24-10, and a couple of touchdowns by Trine tied it at 24. Knights responded with a field goal drive to take a 3-point lead, 27-24, and a big interception by Caden Bolduck has given the Knights the ball back, and they're on the move here again at the 23-yard line. With 3rd down and 3, the Trine 23 to start this 4th quarter.
Interested to see what Calvin does here. Do they stay with Slagers between the tackles? It's been a little better here in this 3rd quarter.
They give it to him. He's running to his right. Again, eludes a tackle behind the line. Lunges for the sticks at the 22. I think he's going to be about a foot short.
This is tush-push territory. I think we're going to see a little quarterback sneak here. No, we're not. We're going to see a field goal try. Wow. Surprised by this.
I am too. Yeah, I mean, it's literally within half a yard. Logan Knapp on to attempt the field goal. This one will be from 39. He's been good today, 2 for 2. Out of the dome hold. Rowan Stewart will snap it. Ooh, that may have been an offside. Logan Knapp's kick is wide left, and there's a lot of movement up front, but Trine holds. Knapp pulled it to the left, missed the field goal with 14-12 to go.
Yeah, Trine dodges a bullet because that's the first time all game a turnover hasn't resulted in points. But Calvin still has the lead, up 3. Long way to go here. 14-12. This has been one of the slower games we've had, but boy, it's coming right down to the 4th quarter. This could be a fun finish, I think.
Calvin's final home game is next Saturday, November 1st, when Olivet comes to town. A few tickets remain, but whether or not you have a ticket, come to the stadium early, enjoy Fan Fest. Beginning at 11 a.m., sponsored by Pliables, Chick-fil-A, Spartan Stores, and Fast Signs. 1st and 10 from their own 22. Trine, after holding on the missed field goal, sets up shop with R.J. West in control. He'll turn and fake to Felder, gun it over the middle, too high for Sheet. Intended for the speedy sophomore, but right there covering was Jair Nolan.
Yeah, Jair Nolan's played really well today. I think he's been outstanding, thrown in the line of duty after Brady Jacobs got hurt in the opening kickoff, and Nolan's responded, man. A little RPO there, and West thought he had one, but no space for that.
2nd and 10 from the 22. 2 receivers out to the left, ball to the left hash. Calvin shows 4-man front. Bolduck the right edge, looks play. Here's a run-pass option by West, and he threw it right in the arms. Knocked down by Caden McCullough. What a game he's had.
Yeah, they list McCullough at 6 foot. I'm not sure he's 6 foot, but boy, he got up there. He has just made plays all day. Caden McCullough, 34 maroon.
This crowd on its feet here, exhorting this defense for yet another stop. Trine 5 of 12 on 3rd downs. They'll send trips to the right, the wide side. Sheet with single coverage from Nolan on the left side. A whistle and is it a timeout?
Can the band not play while the offense is calling cadence, please? Thank you.
How about that?
We've seen the white hat take a snap. Now we've seen him tell the band they can't play.
How about that?
What's next?
3rd down and 10, but the crowd can make some noise, and they're doing that here for this Trine offense. West takes the shotgun snap, back to throw. Here comes the pressure deep over the middle, intended for Burris. He's got it at the 47, right in front of Alex Minahan. Great throw with Marcus Bruker bearing down on R.J. West. West delivered a beautiful toss.
I don't know how he made that pass. I mean, Bruker had to have impacted his throwing motion in some way, but wow, incredible play by R.J. West. Wow.
1st and 10, quick tempo now. They swing it out to Pillow, left sideline. Pushed out of bounds by Bolduc at the 38. As Trine with R.J. West running some tempo. He's shared quarterback duties all season long with Ivan Collins, but today it's been all R.J. West. 18 of 34, a couple of interceptions, 1 touchdown. 2nd down and 6 from the Calvin 40. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Salim Felder, the setback to the right of R.J. West. 4-man rush. West back to throw. Has time. Steps up in the pocket. Delivers the check down to Felder in the right flat. Caught immediately by Felder and then dropped immediately by Alex Minahan. Maybe lost the yard. So it's 3rd down and 7 from the 42.
Yeah, Lamar Bell doing a nice job mixing up his coverage. A lot of man from Calvin, but that was zone, and a nice job by Minahan seeing it. He had flat responsibility. Got right there to get Felder before he could get going.
Zach Pillow, freshman from Florida, slot right. He's been really active here, as has Tristan Burris. They've been the main targets all day long for R.J. West. 3rd and 8, back to throw. Here comes the screen pass, and it is incomplete. Flipped over the head of R.J. Felder. The only player in the vicinity was the big tackle, Derek Kantak,
who was more than 3 yards downfield, and the ball was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, so that's got to be an ineligible receiver, but no call on that one either.
Got to be. Trent Fig complaining, not complaining about it, but they're going to send in the punt team, Hugo Belmonte, on to boot it away. Obviously, Calvin's defense will watch for the fake here.
See, that screen is designed to be caught behind the line of scrimmage, in which case you can have your lineman wherever you want. But it was thrown high because of the pressure, and it was thrown past the line of scrimmage, I thought.
Caden Kolanowski standing back at his 10 to receive this punt from Hugo Belmonte. High end over end kick. Kolanowski will call for a fair catch and corral it at the 13. That's where Calvin starts. 1st and 10. Today's 4th quarter brought to you by Skipper and Ostrink Wealth Management. Retirement planning that seeks to deliver the retirement outcomes you deserve. Check out MichiganSportsRadio.com. 96.1 The Game next Friday. High school football playoffs all around Michigan begin. We're excited about that. I'm sure you'll be calling one on Friday.
Yeah, excited to find out where. You know, we get the brackets tomorrow. Exciting time of year, Selection Sunday. Always fun when it gets to be win or go home time.
West Michigan high school football scene, of course, producing dozens of players for the Calvin Knights. Over 80 players on this team, having prepped at high school here in West Michigan. 1st and 10 for Calvin at their own 14. Vaccaro back to throw. Back shoulder throw to Mishmerheisen. Miller right there battling him at the 33-yard line. Incomplete. Mishmerheisen slow to get up. Boy, those two have just gone at it all afternoon.
I mean, there was so much contact, and it looked like jersey pull, but
Mishmerheisen has 5 catches today for 60 yards. Been targeted at least a dozen times.
I love it. I love Calvin's offensive game plan today. I think it's been outstanding. You know, the shots downfield haven't always worked, but they have an impact, right? They have an impact on the underneath stuff and the ability to run the football.
2nd and 10 from the 14. Shotgun snap by Vaccaro. He's going to grab it and go right up the middle. Has running room all the way out to the 22. 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Chopped down by Xavier Compton. Was that a design play?
I don't know. I think it was going to be a pass, and he just kind of saw it, right? You get man coverage, and you get your guys blocking downfield, and you get 8. So good run that time by Vaccaro.
Vaccaro with 26 yards rushing. He's been sacked a couple times to lower those numbers. Back to throw on 3rd and 2. Has time, plenty of time. Down the left sideline, incomplete. Cunder broke off his route with Miller, and Vaccaro delivered it deep down the field. And it's 4th down and 2.
You got a punt. You're on your own 22-yard line.
that play just seemed discombobulated from the outset, didn't it?
Well, it looked like one of the Trine D linemen moved, and did he move into the neutral zone? Apparently not. There was no call, and it was like, is it a free play? Is it not? And Vaccaro just threw in deep, and Seth Anderson's route got cut off by Miller.
Drake Irwin on to kick, standing at his 10. He'll boot it to Tristan Burris, who's retreated back to his 43-yard line. Ooh, they block it. They blocked it. It's blocked by Orozco, picked up by the backup running back, and a touchdown for Trine. A blocked punt by Orozco, who's been really good today, and then it was Tyler Drain, the backup running back from Saginaw, that scooped up the blocked punt and goes into the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, the game has just been decided on little things like special teams and turnovers. The stat sheet's not going to tell the story, but this just a huge play and a really nice play that time by the Trine special teams unit. And boy, that's a big swing of momentum here.
Orozco with an interception today, a couple of tackles. And he comes up with a big block kick. Recovered by Tyler Drain, and he waltzed into the end zone for a 15-yard return and the go-ahead score. On to attempt the extra point is Hufford. Low kick, slides just over the crossbar. It's good. So 31-27, 11:23 to go. When we come back, Calvin playing from behind for the first time since midway through the second quarter. He'll have the football on the Calvin Sports Network.
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in preschool. As a teacher, I know that I am called to not only make an impact on the students that I teach, but to help them come up with creative solutions to be change agents themselves. That Calvin has instilled in me to be an agent of renewal in this world. And how can they help be a problem solver? How can they creatively come up with solutions to better not only the space that they are involved in, but the space that others are involved in as well?
Second punt.
Back at Calvin, a block punt by Trine has resulted in a touchdown, and the Thunder lead it now 31-27. Here's a Fast Signs final score from Adrian. A field goal with 10 seconds to go by Hope has given the Flying Dutchman a 19-17 win, and that will propel them or keep their championship hopes alive. Alma's still atop the conference, undefeated. Kickoff, high end over end kick, and a flag comes in, and that is
Trine was offside.
Offside.
Yeah.
But isn't that normally assessed on after the ball is returned? 5 more yards? Guess not. We'll move it back to the 30.
It appears it's an immediate stoppage and move it back and kick it again based on what we just saw. But yeah, I wasn't sure, to be honest with you. So Caden Balkin, the senior from Byron Center, kicked the field goal for Hope. So you look at the MIAA standings, Alma just controlling their game today against Olivet. They'll be the only unbeaten team now in
kicking team. 5-yard penalty.
the MIAA. And then you got Hope and Adrian sitting there with 1 loss now.
Adrian and Alma meet on the final Saturday of the season, November 15th. Well, Jason, this is a game where, for Calvin, it's the kind of game that we talked at the outset off air about. You need a breakthrough win. You need a win that is a true upset over somebody. And in a sense, Calvin got it earlier in the season in a couple of non-conference games, but the MIAA is really where it's at. And these final 11 and a half minutes will be that opportunity for the Knights as they trail by 4. Here's a high end over end short kick taken by Tyler Porte at the 30-yard line. He angles towards the middle of the field from right to left and is crunched at the 35. And that's where Calvin will start 1st and 10 at the 35.
Hey, you look at it. Calvin's won 2 MIAA games, right? And they're both, or one, sorry, right? Against Kalamazoo. So this would be a chance, an opportunity to beat another MIAA team, make another step. But you look at the adversity that they've been faced with in this game. I mean, it started with all the injuries to the linebackers. Then you have Gage Jones, who gets ejected on what we can only call a questionable call. And now you give you the punt blocked and you're playing from behind. So a chance, though, with the football here. 11 minutes to go.
On 1st and 10 to give us to Hayden Slagers up the middle. Dances away from one tackler at the line of scrimmage and then is corralled by Bo Skidmore at the 37. Got a couple, 2nd down and 8. Yeah, the targeting call on Jones was huge on so many fronts. It was 4th down. It would have given Calvin the ball in plus territory. resulted in a score for Trine, and then obviously means Gage Jones is out of the game.
As you're going even deeper into your lineup here.
From the 37, 2nd and 8, Vaccaro back to throw. He'll loft it down the left sideline. It's picked off. Great interception at the 33-yard line. Skying for that ball was the cornerback, Chester Kimbrough. Another one of those many young cornerbacks. Kimbrough from South Bend. Check that, Cleister Kimbrough.
You know, the story of this game has been Calvin trying to get the ball down the field, because they didn't do that last week, and they've tried, and they just haven't been that successful because Trine is playing one-on-one with their corners on Calvin's receivers, and more times than not, Trine's winning those one-on-one matchups. I mean, they're not sending safety help, despite the fact that Calvin time and time again is going to throw it deep down the field. Their safeties are staying in, they're protecting the middle of the field, and the corners are doing the job on the outside. So that's really what it's been for that Trine defense.
With 10:39 to go, 1st and 10 at their own 32. Trine will look to grind some clock here. Cortavian Barnett, the running back. He'll take the handoff, slung down behind the line. Marcus Brucker was able to knife through from his left defensive end spot. And he threw Barnett down to the ground like a rag doll. And now Brucker slow to get up, and he's hurt.
Yeah, really nice play by the senior. You hope he's all right. Might have been on the landing.
Boy, he made a great play, didn't he? Get around that right tackle.
He sure did. And boy, you set him up, loss of 3, make it 2nd and 13.
Brings Isaiah Hill back into that defensive end spot. Luke Bushhouse is at the right edge. KJ Harp now in at middle guard. Loss of 3, 2nd down and 13 from the 29. Clock marching toward 10 minutes here in this 4th quarter. Calvin defense needs a stop.
Yeah, we talked about how much the defense has been on the field for Calvin in this game, and that's continued here.
On 2nd and 13, West back to pass. Guns at right sideline, complete to Hampton, who had snuck out of the backfield. Caught at the 38 and down there immediately in front of Noah Funk. Time of possession fairly even though. 25, essentially 25 and 25.
Feels like Calvin's defense has been out there a lot.
Teams have run similar amounts of plays. 3rd down and 5, huge play. Ball just outside the 37-yard line. Called the 38, 3rd and 4.
Might be time to dial something up here if you're Lamar Bell. It's been a while since they've made West uncomfortable, which they did a really good job of most of the afternoon.
Schneerstein and McCullough show blitz from their inside backer spot. So does Vogler off the edge. They bring the house, throw over to the middle, complete to Burris on a quick slant for a 1st down at the Trine 46 in front of Jair Nolan. Give West credit. He stood in the pocket against that 6-man rush and delivered a strike.
Well, and both inside linebackers came on the blitz, so you throw the slant. There's nobody in the middle of the field, so you just one-on-one there, and you get the slant pass and move the chains. Nice play by that Trine offense.
1st and 10. Here's a high snap, corralled by West. He'll fling it right sideline to Owen Hebbard. Upended by Jair Nolan at the 49 of Calvin. 5 more yards. So they go with a very conservative, controlled passing attack here. Really almost like long running plays.
Yeah, this is what I thought we'd see from Trine here. That time it was a nice shot by West, because it was not a great pass from center, but he made it look easy, grabbed it to his right, made the quick pass out there, and they get a solid 5 on 1st down. Calvin needs to make a play here. They had the big play on 1st down just a moment ago, but Trine able to move the chains.
Again, nice show blitz on 2nd and 5. Now the inside backers retreat. Back to throw is West. Here comes the rush. Isaiah Hill's got a beat on him. He's able to squirm through. The ball's loose on the ground, and it is still loose back at the 37. Still loose, and finally recovered, I think, by Trine. The left tackle, or the center, Dalton Robinson. That thing was like a pinball, just eluding anybody who could grab it.
It looked like West was lateraling it. No, he wasn't. A great job by Schneerstein. Took it out. Excellent play.
Grabbed it right out of his hand.
Yes.
But Carson couldn't control it himself. At any rate, it's a 5-yard loss back to the 45. 3rd down and 11. Huge 3rd down play with 7:37 to go here in this 4th quarter.
Live, I thought he was lateraling it, but no, it was a heads-up play by Schneerstein to rip it out of there.
Trips to the left for Trine, the wide side. Four-man rush, back to throws West, has time, delivers it, left sideline, incomplete, deflected at the 40-yard line, outside the numbers by Minahan. Reed Vogler was there as well, and incomplete. 4th down and 11 from the 45, and Calvin will get the ball back. Officials timeout is, I think it's Zach Pillow lost his helmet as he came down to the ground, and he's being attended to on that far side. Good coverage by Calvin.
Excellent job by the Calvin defense. And Minahan's made some big plays from his cornerback position today. And now you get the football back. 7:18 left, down 4. This is going to be huge, right? Because now you're at the point where if you have to punt here, now you're like, well, we're going to have to start using our timeouts, and you may not get the football back. This has become a huge possession.
Jason, just for comparative sake, the same situation a year ago in Angola. Calvin down 28-24. Had the football with 6 minutes to go in deep in their own territory with a chance for a historic program drive. Could not get it done, and Trine was able to stop, punch it in on a short field, and then Calvin scored at the end to make it a one-score game. But very, very similar to last year in terms of the way this game is played out.
It was an interception, right? I think Calvin threw an interception there. Down 4.
Hugo Belmonte will kick it from his own 30. Kalen Kolanowski standing at his 17-yard line. Knights in a prevent defense here. They rushed just 4. Well, Caden Bullock was able to bust through there, almost blocked it. Kolanowski grabs the punt. Gutsy catch there, hit immediately at the 15-yard line.
Kolanowski on the return.
That's where Calvin will start 1st and 10 at the 15.
So if you're Calvin, you got to decide what your game plan is. Do you continue to try to attack the edges there where you've struggled a little bit trying to get it to your receivers? And see if Luke Mitchmerheisen comes back in the game. He left that last series.
Good coverage there by Wes Ludwig.
And he is out there.
So here we go for the Knights. Each team with 3 timeouts left. Ball to 15, 1st and 10. They need a touchdown. Hayden Slagers is the running back. Hunter Hogan's in the slot to the right. That's been the personnel most of the game. Play fake. Vaccaro rolls to his right, dumps it underneath to Bausma. He's rocked as he caught the ball at the 13-yard line. Big hit there by Ridge Howard on Carter Bausma. Now he's down.
That's at least the 3rd time we've seen Calvin run that play, and it really hasn't worked since the first time they ran it. Really good play by that Trine defense.
Yeah, Howard had a beat on that play from the outset. Bausma's okay. He just got he got rocked pretty good. Loss of 1 on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 11 with 6:55 to go. So, Jason, again, everything's been to the outside in the passing game. What could you do to work the middle of the field, or is it just not there?
Well, it's tough because Trine's got so many guys in the middle of the field, right? And they're daring Calvin to beat him on the outside. And at some point, you need a receiver to make a play on the outside. But I like when they got down in the goal line over here and they put Mitchmerheisen and Hogan closer together and they cross them. I think that could work. I realize it's not a short yardage situation, but I might try something like that instead of just trying to hit go routes on the outside. We'll see what the Knights do.
From the 14, 2nd and 11. Here's a reverse to Slagers. He's looking to throw. Now he's going to tuck it and go out over to the 20 to the 22. Rammed out of bounds by Trudell and Basie. That was a good call, good play there. A pickup of 8. Sets up a more manageable 3rd down and 3. I think that was a option pass there for Slagers, but again, nobody open.
Yeah, of course, Slagers was the backup quarterback last year. He's been moved to running back. I like it. I like the creativity, though. Certainly something we hadn't seen from Calvin, and he got 8 yards on it, set up 3rd manageable.
3rd and 2 from the 23. Big play here. Vaccaro out of the shotgun takes the snap. He's going to run, and he is swallowed up at the 20. Met there by Cal Lockhart. 4th down, back at the 20, and they're going to have to send on the punt team with 5:52 to go.
Yeah, you got a punt on your own 20, 4th and 5, and there's still enough time left, but now you're going to have to start thinking about using your timeouts on defense, and you put a lot of pressure on the defense to make a stop. Just Calvin's done a pretty good job of protecting Vaccaro tonight, but that time the protection broke down a little bit. Oh boy, now Calvin's got to burn a timeout. That's huge.
Down a player on that special teams, and that forced a Calvin timeout. That could be costly with 5:31 to go. We'll step aside before this punt. When we return, Calvin, 4th down and 5, and they'll kick it away.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin Network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
Jason, a Fast Signs final shocker from down south on US 131.
Yeah, Kalamazoo beats Albion 30-26. So that means Kalamazoo was winless in the MIAA until today. Very surprising.
4th down and 5. Knights will kick it away with 5:31 to go. Irwin back to punt. Last time he was in this position, the kick was blocked by Orozco, and that's why we have a 4-point Calvin deficit right now. High end over in lazy kick taken by Burris. He'll run to his left along the sideline. Zayden Churko escorted him out of bounds at the 46. Good field position for Trine. Calvin's got to get a stop here and get it quickly. So we'll see if Calvin sells out with the pressure to stop the run.
Well, yeah, you assume Trine's going to run the football here with a 4-point lead and 5 minutes to go. So you have to do whatever it takes to stop. You have to take some chances now. I mean, that's where you're at, because you got to get the football back and you got to score a touchdown. And now you only have 2 timeouts, and time is becoming a factor. But it's not impossible.
Salim Felder is the running back, off to RJ West's right. So they go with 10 personnel all day long. 1 running back and no tight ends. Back to throw is West, being chased by McCullough, who blitzed through, and West just had to flip it out of bounds on the right sideline, incomplete.
I'm all for being aggressive and putting your foot on the throat, but I just don't get the play call. Trying to run the football effectively. You have the lead with 5 minutes to go. I'm just really surprised they threw it.
2nd down and 10 from the 46. Matthew Zimmerich, Marcus Brucker, Luke Bushhouse. The front 3 with Caden Bolduck cheating up at that right edge position. This time they give it to Felder. Big hole up the middle. It closed quickly. McCullough and Vogler converged on Felder at the 49. He picked up 5. So a huge 3rd down play coming up for this Calvin defense right now. Clock at 5 minutes to go. If you're Troy Ave, do you run it or throw it here?
I mean, you're on the plus 49, so I'd run the football here, see what you get. I mean, if you're in 4th and 1 or 2, you can go for it. Or worst case scenario, you punt, pin them deep, and your defense is playing really well right now.
West will throw on this 4th down play, 3rd down play, gives it to Felder. He is chopped down at the 46 on a great tackle by Reed Vogler. A little flare pass to Felder out of the backfield. He's shy of the 1st down, 4th and a yard. And here is truly the biggest play of the game. They are going to go for it. 4th down and about a half a yard with 4:20 to go. Great play by Vogler to cut down Felder on that little flare pass.
Well, this is huge now. I mean, Trine only needs a yard. They've done a nice job handing the ball off tonight to Salim Felder. I got to believe that's what we'll see here.
See if they try to draw Calvin offside. No, they'll give it to Felder. He didn't get it. Barnett is hit behind the line. Caden McCullough knifing through to make the tackle on Cortavian Barnett at the 46. Calvin takes over on downs.
I mean, an incredible play by Caden McCullough, but they had Cortavian Barnett in there. I'm surprised it wasn't Salim Felder, although I'm not sure it matters the way McCullough came shooting through there. That A-gap blitz, and
McCullough with his 42nd tackle of the season, none bigger than that one.
I thought you were going to say his 42nd tackle of the day. Feels like it.
It sure does. 1st and 10 for Calvin at their own 46. 4 minutes to go in this football game. Knights with 2 timeouts. That's not really a factor here. Hunter Hogan now in the game at running back. Klunder slot left. Vaccaro takes the shotgun snap. Here comes the rush. He's going to step up in the pocket, hits Klunder along the left sideline. Still on his feet at the 35, wrestled to the ground by Kimbrough at the 35. That's a big gain of 19 and a first down for Calvin.
How about Jude Klunder, right? He wasn't trying to run away from Kimbrough. He ran right into his chest. And boy, the home fans and his teammates, they realize it, man. They are fired up right now. Calvin with a lot of momentum.
Fourth catch of the day for Klunder. Ball to 35, 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the left, 3-man front. Vaccaro back to throw. Here comes the rush. He spins out of it. Now throws it out of bounds. The live another day is giving chase was that defensive line led by Bo Skidmore. Incomplete, 2nd and 10 at the 35 with 3:19 to go.
See, if I'm Calvin here, I get it. There's 3:19 left, and you got to be aware of that. But I want to score, right? Like, I don't care if I score in this play. If I take 30 seconds, like, score and go ahead. You know, don't worry about trying to score with 10 seconds left or whatever. Like, go in front here. They got the momentum. They got the home crowd on their side. I'd want to go.
2nd and 10. Seth Anderson split to the left. Vaccaro play fake. Back to throw. Here comes the rush again. He's going to escape. Dart towards the sideline at the 28. Run out of bounds by Ridge Howard at the 28. Again, Thomas Vaccaro. You know, you go back to that 3rd down play on the last possession. It's as though Trine knows he's capable of that, and I'm wondering if they'll spy here on this big 3rd and 3 play, because Vaccaro's legs have produced a number of 3rd down conversions.
Yeah, you're right, and he seems to come up in these situations and run for a lot of first downs.
3rd and 3 from the Trine 28. Calvin trying to reach the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown. Slager is running back to the left. Hogan, Mishmerheisen wide to the right. Trine shows blitz. Vaccaro has time. Throws down the right sideline to Hogan. He's got it for the touchdown! Hunter Hogan over the top of the quarterback at the goal line. Makes the catch. And the Calvin Knights have taken the lead. 33-31.
And that's where they've been successful. Hogan in the slot, more so than throwing to the boundary, as you have talked about all afternoon. And Hunter Hogan just goes up and gets the football. Really good play all the way around. Protection from the line, Vaccaro with the throw, and Hunter Hogan with the ball skills to go make a great play.
Jason, he was one-on-one with Roman Strock, the linebacker, and that's the key. He had a linebacker covering him. Little in and out route towards the right pylon, and what a throw by Vaccaro. And Hogan has just been a gamer all his career. Hauled it in. The extra point is good by Logan Knapp. 2:35 to go. Calvin up by 4. Their defense will try to hold on, as you see on TV, the go-ahead touchdown. Hunter Hogan high pointing the ball at the goal line to give the Knights the lead. We'll be back. Stay with us for the stretch run. Calvin on defense when we return on WXSP 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio.
What I've learned in my 4 years at Calvin University is that believing in yourself means a lot. In your job, in your church, on your team. That belief that you have is what's going to motivate you to become the best you that you can be.
There's a goal from Josh Boyer.
6:45. A lot of guys on the team, they saw me as a leader. I can use those abilities that I learned on the field. I can use them off the field in the classroom, because that's what's going to make the difference in the world after you graduate.
.235 to go in the 4th quarter. Calvin up by 3 after that electrifying 28-yard touchdown toss from Thomas Vaccaro to Hunter Hogan in the right sideline, right at the pylon. And the Knights will kick it off. Hayden Slagers. See if he boots it deep here. He's in a field position battle. Yeah, sure enough, kicks it deep to Drain, who will grab it at the 7. The 6'2 backup running back heads up the right sideline and angles toward the middle and is dumped at the 23. I thought that would happen, Jason. They've been so conservative, Calvin has, on those short pooch kicks, but now you're playing the field position game.
Yeah, and you get them back inside the 25, so job 1 done now defensively, right? You got to make plays here. Do you stay aggressive with the play calling from a defensive standpoint? You're on the lead now. There's plenty of time. Trine still has all 3 of its timeouts. 2.5 minutes. We still have the 2-minute timeout. So time is not a factor for Trine here. Calvin's got to go ahead and try to win this game on defense here.
Ball marked at the 23 at the right hash. Calvin with Bolduc, Bruker, Zimrek, Bushhouse across that front four. Linebackers are McCullough, Schneerstein.
Garbowski's out there.
Charlie Garbowski in a linebacker as well. Gage Jones out of the game. From the 23, 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Flag comes in. And got to play a game. That's they spent a lot of time in the huddle along the sideline there. Did Trine, and a little late coming out. That'll cost them.
The Trine sideline seems to think they should have reset the play clock. I don't know why, but they're not going to win this argument. Send it back to the 18-yard line. Home crowd's loving it, man. They're fired up.
It was 17-10 at the half. Calvin led 24-10 in the third quarter. Trine evened it up 24 all. Calvin used a field goal to take a 27-24 lead. Trine scored on a block punt to hold a margin of 31-27, and Calvin has just electrified this crowd with a touchdown pass from Vaccaro to Hogan to regain the lead with 2:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. Well, we've had some great finishes in the NMIAA today. We got another one coming here. 2 of the 3 games going right down to the wire. This one will as well. From the 18-yard line, 1st and 15 for Trine. West takes the shotgun snap, quick in route to Burris. He's got it at the 30. Jair Nolan giving chase. Kolanowski there as well. They drop him at the 33. Quick first down on a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, just man-to-man coverage. One safety in the middle of the field, and then the linebackers come on the blitz, and so you got the middle of the field open again.
Here comes the blitz. They send 7. Burris to throw over the middle. Too far for Hebert at the 40-yard line of Calvin. He had it delivered early because that pressure. Calvin sent 7 and forced the quick throw from R.J. West.
Well, and Trine kept people in to protect as well, so they only had 2 guys in the route there. So Calvin had 2 defenders around the intended receiver, and West just wisely getting that one off high and living to see second down.
2:08 to go. Ball to 33. Trine needs a field goal to tie it. And this big crowd again coming to life here on the home side. Same formation, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Barnett stays in the block. Back to throws West down the right sideline. Jump ball, Nolan and Burris incomplete. Good coverage. Boy, Jair Nolan, you said it earlier. He has blanketed receivers all afternoon.
Yeah, he's been asked to respond, and he has responded. Jair Nolan, the senior, number 1, good coverage. But again, they brought all the linebackers. They just continue to pressure, and they did. I thought Trine did a pretty good job there, but it was just good coverage downfield by the Calvin defense.
Mickey Daring now into the game at running back. So clearly, pass pro is a premium here for Trine as they try to give R.J. West some time. 3rd down and 10 at their own 33. Last play before the 2-minute timeout. Back to throw. Knights send 3. Yep. Passes behind the intended receiver. Street incomplete. And that brings us to the 2-minute timeout. 4th down and 10. What will Trine do when we come back? Calvin 34, Trine 31. 2 minutes to go on the Calvin Sports Network.
The mission statement of our program is building champions for life. And I truly mean that when I say that. To me, there's 2 types of programs. There's transactional and there's transformational. And we are building a transformational football program here because we want our young men to leave prepared for the rest of their lives. And so when we talk about being champions, we talk about 4 different areas: in the classroom, in the community, on the field, and then champions of our faith. And all 4 pieces are so important to what we're doing.
Back at Calvin University, you see the beautiful new stadium to be in the background there, but in the foreground is Calvin Soccer Stadium, where the Knights play in this 2025 season, and fans have been treated to a dandy here this afternoon. Calvin nursing a 3-point lead. It's 4th down, and Hugo Belmonte is going to come out and they're going to kick it away. So they're going to rely on their defense and their 3 timeouts to get a stop.
They did run a fake punt in the first half, unsuccessful. I can't imagine they'd fake it here. They do have all 3 timeouts. I'm frankly surprised Calvin's sending anybody back deep, but Trine does have all 3 timeouts, but there's only 2 minutes left, so this will be interesting to see how this plays out.
4th down, Belmonte boots it away. No flag. Boy, that could have been called running into the kicker. The punt dribbles out of bounds at the 20. So the Knights need a 1st down, and they'll start at their own 20-yard line. Stay with us after the game for the Big East post-game show, including Jason Hutton's various selections of players of the game. Big East Sports Grill with 2 locations in Grand Rapids and 1 in Holland. The best place to catch all the weekend's games, including tonight's Michigan State showdown, the World Series, and all the NFL tomorrow. And of course, Tuesday, join us for Inside Calvin Football at 7 o'clock at Big E's. Be fun to talk about this one with Trent Figg. Hopefully a discussion about a win, and that will be determined here in the next 1 minute and 51 seconds.
I'm sure Calvin's inability to run the football today has played into the decision to punt the football. I mean, 2 yards a carry for Calvin, but they got to find a way to do it here.
1st and 10, Hogan in motion. They give us to Slagers. Starts out right, then cuts back and is swallowed up at the 19-yard line. Cole Basie first to meet him there. 2nd down and 9 after that 1-yard gain.
Timeout Trine. Their first timeout of the half.
So as expected, Trine uses the timeout. Offensive coordinator Ben Dixon, what do you do here? Just play conservative?
Well, I think there's a medium, right? Like, I don't think you throw it 30 yards down the field, but I think you can do something where you can get the ball on the edge, get the ball. Like, we've seen a lot of jet motion from Hunter Hogan, but we haven't actually had the ball handed to Hunter Hogan on one of those plays. I wouldn't dislike seeing that. Maybe you run like some sort of pitch. We don't see a whole lot of sweeps or anything from Calvin. But do something to get it to the outside where you know you can keep the clock going. But I don't think that just pounding it, right up the middle is the answer here.
Or a fake on that jet sweep to Hogan, and Vaccaro keeps it. He's been very crafty with that particular play throughout the season. 2 timeouts left for Trine. 1:46 to go. 2nd and 9 yards to go for the Knights. 2 receivers out to the left. Hogan in motion. They fake the jet sweep. Vaccaro will keep it, tried to sneak around the end, and what a great defensive play by the outside linebacker, Cal Lockhart. He's a couple times has really had an eye on Vaccaro. No gain.
Their 2nd timeout of the half.
Actually lost a yard, so 3rd down and 11, and Trine spends their 2nd timeout.
Yeah, you probably get, now the more that I think about it, you probably don't get too crazy with the play call here. You do something where you know you can keep the clock going. Even if you have to punt, Trine's going to be out of timeouts. They're going to have no more than 90 seconds left. I mean, probably have it somewhere around midfield. Of course, they're only down 3, so a field goal would force overtime. And if you give them the ball around midfield, they only need, 25 yards to essentially get into field goal range? Yeah, it's interesting. It's a philosophy. If you get aggressive here and throw the football downfield, you're playing to win, right? But then you could potentially punt it back to Trine with a timeout. I don't know. I think they might throw it here.
I'm going to say they're going to keep it on the ground. I think I might consider throwing if it was 3rd and 6, but boy, you got to go downfield. And the other option is the proverbial pass punt. Go for the long ball. Let Luke Mishmerheisen make a play, and if it's intercepted at the 40 or midfield, so be it.
Well, it's Miller and Mishmerheisen, so we're going to get that matchup. We'll see if Calvin.
3rd and 11. They look to throw Vaccaro out of the play action. He's going to keep it and run. Ooh, is he hit hard at the 20? And a flag comes in. Cal Lockhart, as Vaccaro was sliding down, Lockhart hit him hard, helmet to helmet, and that is a 1st down for the Knights. How about that?
Well, Bob, I've never officiated a day in my life, and I don't have any idea, but how much of a factor has the way this game has been called?
Late hit, defense, number 36, 15-yard added to the end of the run, automatic 1st down.
On that call, right? Like, we saw a play very similar to that earlier in the game, where Trine hit Vaccaro when he was sliding, and there was not a penalty called. But then you throw Gage Jones out of the game on a very questionable call, and it feels like if you don't give Calvin this call, boy.
Yeah, it was Cole Basie that got him up high, and I guess what goes around comes around. And the Calvin Knights are on the verge of pulling off this upset today. It's kind of fitting that would produce the final 1st down.
It's just really impressive, to be honest with you, what Calvin, so many guys banged up, and listen, I know everybody's got injuries, and that's part of the game, but then you lose one of your better defensive players to the targeting call. You had a punt block to put you behind. There's a lot of options for Calvin to quit here.
Thomas Vaccaro will let that play clock run down to 6. He'll take the snap, give it to Slagers, and blitzing through is Ridge Howard to dump him back at the 29. That handoff was almost stolen by Ridge Howard. 1:07 to go.
Timeout, Trine.
And that, because of that penalty, Trine did not have to spend that last timeout.
Please put 1:09 on the game clock.
Yeah, that's why he let the play clock run down. The clock was running before the snap. So Trine is now out of timeout, so I don't, right? They're not out of timeout?
Let's do the math. They're out of timeouts. That was their last timeout. So the 40-second clock would start at about 1:05.
So you got to run 2 more plays.
You got to run 2 more plays.
Which is 2nd down and 3rd down.
Yeah.
Calvin should be able to take a knee. Right?
How about that? Yeah, let's see if your math is right. I think you're right.
Because even if you knee at 108, you don't snap the ball again until 28. And that's it. Wow, what an
Clean
afternoon.
snap, it's got to happen here. The exchange, Michael Liggett, who's been so good all year long with the snaps. Went Napier, couldn't go today at center, and Liggett, playing on a bum ankle, has been just steady, and he needs to produce here. Calvin on the verge of their first ever October win, and they are going into victory formation. Trent Figg's done the math. He agrees with us. Thomas Vaccaro will take a knee and watch this clock march down as the Calvin Knights, pulling off the upset today over Trine, will move to 5-2, drop Trine to 4-3. And in a game where either team was going to win and sort of emerge as that 4th place team in the MIAA, it's Calvin on the way to victory.
Yeah, what a great day for Calvin. I mean, this is a big win. We keep talking about it. A program-changing win. You beat Kalamazoo. You beat some non-conference teams. This would be the best win, I would think, for Calvin.
Absolutely. Vaccaro under center. One final snap. He corrals it cleanly, and that's it. The Calvin Knights have knocked off Trine 34-31 here in Grand Rapids to pick up an upset and their first ever October win, and their biggest win certainly in the MIAA. The Big East post-game shows coming up next here on WXSP 96.1 The Game. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll be joined by Trent Figg. Get Jason Hutton's wrap up on this one and hand out our awards on this thriller today in Calvin University. 34-31, the Fast Science final. A Calvin victory. Don't go away. Big East post-game show coming up.
What I've learned in my 4 years at Calvin University is that believing in yourself means a lot. In your job, in your church, on your team. That belief that you have is what's going to motivate you to become the best you that you can be.
There's a goal for Josh Boyer.
6:45. A lot of guys on the team, they saw me as a leader. I can use those abilities that I learned on the field. I can use them off the field in the classroom, because that's what's going to make the difference in the world after you graduate.
I had one goal, Olympic swimmer. I was ranked 7th nationally by age 12. When injuries ended that dream, I thought my life was over. But at Calvin, I discovered I'm not just an athlete. I'm a coach, a leader, a storyteller. Go beyond at Calvin University.
Welcome back to Calvin University and the Big E's post-game show. Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton after a thrilling 34-31 win for the Calvin Knights today. And Coach Trent Figg joins us on the Big East post-game show. And Trent, I think about the adversity you overcame today.
Oh my gosh.
Injuries, a very questionable targeting call, a blocked punt. How did you muster up the fortitude with this bunch to pull out this shocker today, 34-31?
Well, first of all, Bob, I'm exhausted right now. But you just said it had nothing to do with me, man. That's all the credit to our kids. Our kids are resilient, man. The last 2 games we got beat up. Our kids came to work this week. Our coaches had an unbelievable plan. Our kids executed the plan, and they never wavered. Never once today did they waver. We told them to compete, passion, and joy all week long, and that's what they did, man. I'm so thankful for these guys. Man, these guys were unbelievable today.
Trine, let's talk about that winning touchdown pass from Vaccaro to Hogan. You get Hogan in a one-on-one situation with Roman Schrock, the linebacker. What was the play call on that, and did you see that matchup that would give you that advantage for that slot back position?
We've been working that matchup all week. Coach Dixon and the staff did a great job of saying, hey, if we do this, we'll get that, and then we can take advantage of this. I think that's the best job they've done all year of finding matchups. We found those today, and our players executed them big time.
Coach, you had a lot of heroes today. How would you best describe the performance of Caden McCullough?
Unbelievable. He's got broken ribs. He's a warrior, man. He's had broken ribs for 3 weeks. He's out there just battling, doing everything he can. Those guys are resilient.
The stop on 4th and 1 on Cortavian Barnett, the defensive play perhaps of the program. And McCullough was the one that made that. Trent, we talked earlier in the week, looking for that first ever October win. What does this mean to these kids and you as you walk off this field and head to the locker room?
Bob, this is huge. This is huge. This is the next step, right? We have a list of goals, and we have those things marked out to get win number 5 right here at home. Big time. Really, really big, man. I'm so thankful that God brought me here. I'm so thankful for all of our players. They did an unbelievable job today.
I know you guys have probably 24 hours to celebrate. Like, what will be your message to the team after this win?
I don't know. I'm going to go crowd surf in the locker room. We'll figure that out on tomorrow. Right now, we're going to celebrate this thing. We're going to get locked back in. We'll be back here for one more home game this year. We'll try to go get win number 6.
All right, Trent Figg, congratulations. Go enjoy the celebration. We'll
Appreciate
see
you guys. Go Knights.
Trent Figg with just jubilant comments here after this final win today, 34-31. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Jason Hutton and I will wrap this one up on the Calvin Sports Network.
This year has definitely changed my world. I'm making an impact here. It feels good to know every day that I'm growing in my abilities that I love, which is film, and I'm also growing as a believer in faith.
I'm really thankful that I was able to do work in my field during school, at school, and that has given me the confidence to move forward with doing my own independent work and getting to put my foot in that door before I even graduate. I don't think I would have found elsewhere.
Calvin showed me the importance of a family-like community. I saw this sort of community present in both my academics and in my athletics. On the field, my lacrosse team took Proverbs 27:17 to heart. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Saying Calvin became my home away from home does not do the place justice. The relationships I made in my time here and the spaces I've grown familiar and fond of have truly made Calvin my home. Calvin University, go beyond.
Release, relate, rejoice, revival to live for God.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Back at Calvin University, the Big East post-game show, Bob Sack along with Jason Hutton after Calvin pulls off the exciting and thrilling 34-31, our Fast Science final score today. Calvin over Trine. Knights scored first. They led it 7-0 in the first quarter. That's the way the first quarter ended, actually 7-7, as Trine tied it 7-7 at the end of the first. Thunder would go up 10-7 before Calvin rattled off 3 unanswered scores. a couple of touchdowns, made it 17-10, and that's the way we went to halftime. A touchdown right out of the locker room in the third quarter gave Calvin a seemingly solid 24-10 lead, but that one evaporated quickly as 2 third-quarter touchdowns by Trine, even the score at 24 as we headed toward the end of the third quarter. Calvin would take the lead on a Logan Knapp field goal from 29 yards out, 27-24. That's the way the third quarter ended. Trine scored on a blocked punt. Orozco blocked it. Tyler Drain returned it 12 yards for the touchdown. And with 11:23, Calvin trailed 31-27. They had a couple possessions and failed to move the ball. They also then had a huge 4th and 1 stop. Caden McCullough stopping Cortavian Barnett on a 4th and 1. Calvin got the ball back at their own 46 with 4 minutes to go. Moved down the field, and on a 3rd down and 3 from the Trine 28, Thomas Vaccaro found Hunter Hogan, lofted it beautifully at the pylon on the right side of the end zone. Hogan was one-on-one with the linebacker. It beat him on a beautiful inside-out route. The pass was high-pointed perfectly by Hogan. Hunter wrangled it in and won the battle on that 50-50 ball, and Calvin won the game 34-31 as they held Trine on the last Trine possession. Statistically today, first very close game. First downs 21-16. Trine had the lead. Total offense, Trine 354-287. You can see it on the screen there if you're watching at home. Passing yards pretty close, 263 for Trine, 223 for Calvin. Rushing went to Trine, 101-54. Time of possession today, basically even, roughly 30-30. Third down efficiency very even as well. Frankly, just a very even football game all the way across for these two teams. Individually for Trine, R.J. West threw 46 times, completed 25 for 263. A couple of interceptions to go with a touchdown. His favorite receiver was Tristan Burris, who had 9 grabs today. Zach Pillow also had 5. Pillow had a TD as well, or the only TD. Rushing on the ground, Felder rushed for 72 yards. Barnett rushed for 36, and West carried 12 times as well, but was under duress so much from that Calvin blitz throughout the game. For Calvin defensively today, we'll start with them. Caden McCullough with 11 tackles, 10 for Carson Schnurstein, Reed Vogler with 9. Great effort by those guys. Offensively for the Knights, Thomas Vaccaro, 18 of 39, his most pass attempts of any game this year. Threw for 223 yards, 3 TDs to go with 3 picks today. That's the only really downside, and that frankly kept Trine in the game, the interceptions that they were able to produce on from Vaccaro. Hogan today caught 5 passes for 107, none bigger than the touchdown that won the game. Mishmerheisen also had 5 catches. Hayden Slager's workhorse on the ground, 18 carries for 52 yards. And it was 3 touchdown passes from Vaccaro to Hogan, Mishmerheisen, and Seth Anderson that propelled the Knights to the win, and Vaccaro ran for the other touchdown. Jason Hutton, what a game. Great effort, great win for the Knights.
It is. It's a great win for Calvin, and Trent Figg put it well. He's like, this is the next step, and that was huge. And think about how many chances Calvin had to fold in this game and to just let it slip away because they lose Gage Jones. They had the punt block that returned for a touchdown. I thought Calvin defensively actually played pretty well in this game. A couple short fields, the punt block for return for a touchdown, and Calvin trailed most of the fourth quarter, but they make a play when they have to, and then late defensively they get it done. And then they get the big penalty call that moved the chains the last time, which allowed them to run out the clock. Just, I don't know, a lot of really good positive things you can take out of this for Calvin and move on to next week's home game against Olivet. Just a really good, hard-fought win for the Knights.
Time now for our Defensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence. And I don't think you're going to have much question on this one, although there are some guys that really made it a hard decision. But at the end of the day, you got to give it to.
Yeah, it's got to be Caden McCullough, right? He led him with 11 tackles. He had 3 sacks, ends up with 4 TFLs, made the huge play, as you alluded to, on the 4th down, to stop Trine. So, yeah, I think Caden McCullough is our Defensive Player of the Game.
And that's today's Defensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence, transforming properties across Michigan by crafting fences that provide sanctuary, security, and self-expression. Committed to care and craftsmanship, Straight Line Fence has earned a reputation as Michigan's most trusted fence installers. Call them today and start building something beautiful. Our Bauman and DeGroot Player of the Game today, that's a tough one as well. I could, again, go to a number of guys, but who's your pick for that one?
Well, Caden McCullough was probably the player of the game. We gave him defensive player. Let's go Hunter Hogan. The versatility of Hunter Hogan, right? He's played running back all year, 5 catches, 170 yards, including the game-winning touchdown play. Let's go with Hunter Hogan.
That's today's Player of the Game, presented by Bauman and DeGroot, where only the best heating and cooling systems are recommended for you, with no upselling and no pushy sales tactics. Paris Motors drive of the game, that's an easy one. I'll tell that one. That's a 54-yard drive to win the game. The touchdown pass of 28 yards, drive consuming 6 plays, and just a one for the memory bank today for Calvin. That's the Paris Motors drive of the game. Find your drive at Paris Motors, where their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Today's Energizing the Night's player of the game. And that's an interesting one as well.
I want to go with Caden Bolduc on this one. He had a sack. He had a interception. A TFL. I just thought that he played really well for Calvin coming back off missing last week and really provided a spark.
Yeah, his absence last week was noticeable, and his presence today was truly felt by that Calvin defense against Trine's potent offense. Today's Visser Brothers teamwork of the game, no question on this one as well. It's the touchdown pass, the beautiful throw and catch from Vaccaro to Hunter Hogan. With a couple minutes to go, that gave the Knights the win. Visser Brothers General Contractors, where a team of dedicated project professionals knows how to maintain your construction process on schedule and on budget. Our Winging It pass play of the game, presented by Detroit Wing Company, obviously could be that one as well, but let's go with the other one, the Mishmerheisen 1-yard touchdown pass that propelled Calvin to that 2-score lead. That was a really key play on where Calvin was struggling to get into the end zone, and Mishmerheisen made a nice catch along the sideline to corral that one.
It was, because Calvin had struggled in those short yardage situations just because of their inability to run the football, and I thought Thomas Vaccaro made a really nice throw, a nice job by Mishmerheisen to bring it in and get a foot down inbounds. That was very close over there on the sidelines, and a huge play at the time for sure.
Last award today we hand out is today's ball security stat of the game, presented by People Driven Technology. And I don't think there's any question about that. Hayden Slager's carried the ball 18 times. He ran into the teeth of the defense all afternoon, never bobbled it, never fumbled it. And you just can't underestimate that. That is such a critical part of the game. And I also think, again, the things you take for granted, Mike Liggett with just a solid game at center as well with his play. But we'll give it to Hayden Slagers for his 18 carries and no fumbles. That's today's ball security stat of the game, presented by People Driven Technology, building security infrastructure for your business. All right, 34-31, the Fast Science final here as we take you home on the Big E's post-game show. Hope you're enjoying it on your drive home. I want to thank a number of people for a wonderful afternoon of college football today. First of all, Coach Trent Figg for all his help in today's preparation, as well as AD Jim Timmer, our SIDs here at Calvin, the wonderful Jeff Phoebus and Mike Gibbons and Brianna Nolan. Also want to thank the Trine SID, Nick Duffy, for his help in preparing for today's broadcast. Our broadcast crew today has been produced by Lucas Moore and Adam Tozer. Our director's been Nate Porter. Justin Kendall, the birthday boys, our field engineer. Camera crew of Nathan Hall, Ethan Kaiser, Langston Holquist, Jordan Bohm, Dylan Mings, all bringing you sights and sounds from today's thrilling Calvin win. Joe Belil was our content creator. Daniel Bass, our technical director. Mark Townsend handling the broadcast audio. Graphics today provided by Alan Warner and Jeff Dix. Joe Haydick was our replay engineer. I want to thank Bill McElroy for his good spotting work today. Jason, I want to thank you. So much fun working with you. We'll see you one more time when you do the Hope Calvin game in a couple weeks. Tim Hiller will join me next week when Olivet comes to town here to meet Calvin for the final home game of the season. I want to thank the guys back at iHeartMedia. Charles Keegan for his work on the board, along with Brett Bakita and Marcus Bradman. And, of course, Michigan Sports Radio's Brock Conkle and WXSP's Wade Cutler for their help in today's broadcast. So many sponsors to thank as well. Thank them all for their great support of Calvin Athletics. You see them all there if you're watching on TV, and just so delighted that they would help bring you this game today. But most of all, I want to thank the fans for watching on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon and a great NCAA Division III football game between Calvin and Trine today. So, for my partner Jason Hutton, this is Bob Sack saying so long, everybody. Once again, the Fast Science final today was Calvin 34, Trine 31. Join us next week, 12:45, when Olivet visits Calvin for the home finale. It's senior day. Don't want to miss that, either here at the game or on the broadcast on 96.1 The Game, WXSP, or Michigan Sports Radio. That'll do it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Again, Calvin wins at 34-31.